Welcome to the Nocturnal Nerdcast. Hope everybody's had a really good week. I don't know if my actual music is playing in the background. There it goes. I can hear it now. It's so low. It's mellow. We have a fantastic panel tonight. We are missing one of our normal panelists. I don't know what's going on with him, but maybe he'll show up at some point. We have Earth 69, Eric, which is Pagey again. So I won't let him use political stuff, so he always has to put a picture of me up. So
yeah,
we have it.
Eric's trying to be.
I'm very strict about it.
He's trying to censor my.
I am trying to
my voice.
I'm basically trying to take away your free speech, your free expression. So
yeah.
So there we go. This is his. He is pushing back against me by.
Well, are you wearing the same chain that's in this photo?
No, that's a different one. That's a flat one. This is a round one.
Oh, sorry, I can't tell. Sorry, my 3D.
I don't have a bunch.
You don't have your
chains,
3D camera on.
I have a bunch of them, so it could be any of them.
Of course.
But that's an AI picture of me. I don't own any pink. Anyway, here is
such a shit talker.
Darren is here. Hello, Darren. Good to see you.
How's it going?
Good. So we have a lot. We talked briefly before we went live. We have a lot to talk about. For anybody that has not seen Agatha or the Penguin, those will be the final two topics of the video tonight, of the stream tonight. So you can watch everything up till that point, and then if you want to come back and watch this later, you can. I'll also be taking those segments out. What are you laughing about? I'm literally just explaining the format tonight. What could possibly be so funny?
You're gonna say, well, that's a good thing because I haven't watched either.
Okay. Well, you can sit around and laugh when we talk about it.
I'll tell you what I have watched.
What?
I'm about halfway through that new Menendez Brothers show on Netflix.
Of course you've watched that. You dedicate your time to that, but you didn't watch Penguin or Agatha. And you said you were going to watch Penguin. You said you were going to watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it, but it doesn't mean I have to watch it like as soon as it comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, you came to Goon?
Wait. We're not even 5 minutes into the stream. Let's leave all the dirty talk for someone. I see the comment, but I'm not reading it out right now.
Actually, you would love the Menendez Brothers show. You know why?
If it's going to be something that's going to get us demonetized, just wait like 10 minutes before.
Well, maybe if I sang it, but it has Ice Ice Baby in it. So,
that's definitely demonetization.
Yeah, 100%. Stop, collaborate, and listen.
But if you haven't watched either one of those, they will be the last topics. They will be here on this stream, but I'm also going to be breaking them up into separate videos. So those will both be up tomorrow during the day to give people a chance to watch it. Because if you're anything like me, you forgot that Penguin came out today. I literally didn't know until like 3 hours ago, and then I was like, wait, that's coming out? I also was shocked that Agatha is getting released. I've noticed a trend of this. It seems like with Star Wars and Marvel properties, Disney Plus is trying to release them at like normal like TV hours, like 8-9 o'clock at night. So I appreciate they did that on Wednesday. I was kind of bummed though, because I woke up and I was like, yes, it's going to be up 3 o'clock Wednesday morning. It's going to be out. And then it wasn't out until like 9 o'clock on Wednesday night. And I was like, oh. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it adds a little bit more excitement when it comes out during the time when everybody can watch it, which I think is important. We're going to see that with Superman and Lois too. So
it was always very frustrating to me. I would wake up when they would drop the episodes, and I'd be like, I would just check social media and be like, oh shit, it's fucking, the Iron Man's here, whatever. I'm just spoiled instantly.
I know. I'd always see the pictures with spoilers, and I'm like, of course, this is what they're doing.
Yeah, they can't wait 5 seconds. It's crazy.
Any chats or super chats that you want to drop now, you can. They're going to be saved for when we get to that portion of the stream. But if you want to get the questions asked early, so they'll be the first ones we talk about, you can go ahead and drop those now. Member chats or super chats. Because I see your comment, Naruto, but we're going to save all of that for when we get to the Agatha stuff. Eric, did you hear more Diddy news? Like, the Diddy stuff is crazy. It is so much right now. The clips that are coming out, the videos that are coming out. It's like Freaknik stuff. It's like, what is happening here? Baby oil everywhere and stuff. Like, what is going on?
Didn't they have like a massive supply of baby oil and lube or something?
Yeah,
like that?
It's like, what is happening? And then clips of like people that are hanging out with him. Like, they'll have their cups here. Like, this is no joke. They'll have their drinks like this, and when he comes around, they're like that. They're talking to him, and I'm like, these clips where people are trying to keep their drinks away from him. It's weird. It is so weird, but it's also sad because it's a lot of people that were making records and music and entertainment during like my formative years, like when I was growing up, and I'm like, I don't want these people to be awful, but it seems like everyone is awful. Everyone is fucking awful. It's like it's just so difficult to deal with. It's traumatic for me.
Well, it's lucky that you stopped using your pseudonym of DJ Diddy, like in time, like you stopped it a couple months
just
ago.
in time. I was using
just in
it
time.
like just about 7 or 8 days ago is when I stopped. I was like, it's just about time.
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize you were using it that close. I thought you stopped a couple of months ago.
Yeah, it was. I had a Wix site with it and a couple of OnlyFans accounts. Speaking of OnlyFans, look who's advertising their content on OnlyFans. Bo DeMayo here. Someone commented and said, does he own clothes? And I was like, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. I think it's possible that he doesn't actually own any shirts, or I mean, did you see, like, it's kind of weird because people were like, I want to know what's going on, but I also don't want to take a chance at like seeing like adult content. Like, you know what I mean? Isn't it a little strange?
Like, I remember, like, I don't know if it's like that on Twitter. Remember, like, a few years ago on Twitter, like, the photo would auto crop, so if you clicked on it, it would expand. Like, you don't know if this
they
is
got
like
rid of the auto
crop. Yeah, now you choose the exact size and stuff, but you don't know. Like, this could have been one of those ones where you open it and it's the old sausage surprise.
This is what I'm saying, Gwendolyn. Like, I'm not trying to shame anybody. I'm all about body positivity. But when you're being accused of forcing people to look at like almost X pictures of you, and then you basically are like, I'm going to tell you the truth, but only if you pay for my OnlyFans.
It's like being accused of being an arsonist and then playing with a lighter on live or something like that.
Right.
Like, that's not helping your case.
The other thing is that you remember we read the article, I think it's been a couple of weeks now, we read the article where part of the agreement that they had was that he would not go and talk about, you know, X-Men 97 or any of the details of stuff behind the scenes or whatever. Just yesterday, he was on a stream doing it. And I'm like, these are things that you agreed to when you left from the company. So it's like, I'm not saying, like, again, I'm not a defender of Disney. Disney has a lot of really awful practices. I mean, we've already seen that how they treat their actors, their writers, their artists. I mean, they've got some really awful shit going on. It's quite possible that they did a bunch of shit to Bo as well. But the problem is you agreed to that when you left. So you have to be very careful about that stuff. And when I saw him on another podcast doing it, I was like, the fuck? The other thing is, what about people that he's going on podcasts with people. So I'm like, what if we find out, look, allegedly he did these things. So I want to say, what if we find out it was some really awful shit and then all these people have been platforming him? That's all I'm saying. Like, how do you respond to that as a content creator?
I've even seen that a lot on social media though. Like when someone gets canceled, or it's like what these platforms are like, well, they don't accept you, but our side of the internet was like when all that like Matt Rife thing stuff was going on beginning of the year, all these podcasts were like, well, they just don't know your side of the story. They don't know, all these things. And it's like, they're trying to, profit off of their cancellation. It almost feels like.
I just noticed that, did he misspell OnlyFans on purpose, or is that like a weird, like branding thing? Bonelyfans? Bonelyfans? Is that what it's supposed to be, like bone? Bonelyfans? Because this is onlyfans.com/BoNLY fans. Bonelyfans. I don't know. That feels weird. I don't want to assume the worst, right? But I just don't know. This doesn't look good. And he clearly has the ability to go and put his like content out without it being locked behind a paywall. So I'm not really sure why he's doing it, other than like, once you get the news that he doesn't force people to see naked pictures of him, then you have to see naked pictures of him because you've already signed up for his OnlyFans at that point. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, right, exactly, Screwface. Bonely fans, like bone, like boner, like bonely fans. I don't know. Justin said he's like Gina Carano. And so I want to point this out as well. And I actually thought about this. These are shower thoughts, right? Like shower thoughts when you're like thinking and you're like, oh, okay. I was thinking like, why is it that the guys who get sort of, I don't know, blacklisted, or they don't really work with Disney anymore, suddenly think that the best way to continue making money is to jump on every like grifty podcast they can? Because it doesn't work. Like Gina Carano's not had a successful career, which is partly, I think that's part of the reason why she was she's taking Disney to court was because the money isn't there. She's made projects outside of Star Wars. And, you know, you could argue that maybe she made some dumb mistakes and that's why everything happened the way it did. But she was given every opportunity to correct the issue. And it seems like with Bo, when he left, they said it was a mutual thing back in, May, March, somewhere, whenever they announced that. There was like a mutual thing. They weren't going to be working together anymore. And these are things that he agreed to, but now he's going back and saying, like, everything becomes awful. And then the podcast that he was on, the people that he was talking to, they were saying really awful shit about X-Men 97 in terms of, like, the people that worked with him, I guess, with Disney and Marvel and everything. And he never defended the people that he worked with. And that, to me, was, like, egregious. I'm like, you don't have to defend Disney. If you want to talk shit about Disney, go ahead. But the people that you work with, all of them are now, like, casualties. They can be thrown under the bus. It's really strange to me. And I don't want to think the worst, but holy shit, you're making it so hard for me to go, yeah, maybe this guy didn't do all of the things that he's being accused of. And it's a lot of stuff. It's not like one thing. It's a lot of different things. And like Gwendolyn was saying, it's like more than one. So it's not like it's one specific thing. It's like multiple things. And then the fact that you don't seem to own clothes. That's sus to me anyway. Like, be body positive, but you could rock a tank or something. Like, wear the Gambit crop top. Like, something like that. I mean,
or even like, as I said, like some nipple clamps or like a sports, like a something.
All right, you got no chill tonight. I can see already how this is gonna go.
Bro, you're talking about someone's OnlyFans.
I know, but I didn't say anything about nipple clamps. You went another direction altogether. So,
well, I don't know. I thought I was going very minimal.
Were you? Okay, I don't think that's minimal. I think that's a little bit. That's borderline like sexual harassment. I'm just gonna put that out there.
What, nipple clamp? Yeah, but I'm not gay, so it's not. I don't think it works.
Or so you say. I mean, this is how this all starts, right?
What? Deny?
All right. Let's move on to something a little less offensive. So we got some news about some casting for Avatar: Last Airbender season 2. Not the blue aliens on the planet. This is the.
God, that was hilarious.
That was hilarious. That was funny. So this is the casting for Toph, and I heard a rumor, and Darren, I don't know if you've seen anything about this. I tried to like basically figure out if it was real or not, but apparently they're saying that they're not going to have her as blind in the series. Is that true?
That I mean, something came out about that like when, forever ago, and that one was false. Like all the way back when they announced, when season 1 ended. I assume she'll be blind. Like, I feel like the backlash on that would be insane if they just like took out.
There's already people mad because the actress is not blind, so they're like freaking out. Mad about it.
Is there a story reason for her being blind, like, or is she born?
I mean, it's a major part of her character.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it defines like her. I don't want to say completely defines, but it kind of steers her personality and how she is in the show. So it would definitely be difficult for them to achieve the same qualities by making a drastic change like that. Plus, it would probably look very ableist. On their part to do that. But then people are arguing about Charlie Cox and Daredevil. They're like, he's not a blind person, he's playing a blind character. I don't know what the correct casting protocol is in this situation, but I do know that people were saying, well, she's not going to be blind on the show, but I highly doubt that. I think she probably will be.
Yeah, I think the character will be blind. What I am curious about though is like, Toph as a character is someone who makes a joke or makes kind of fun of her own blindness, and that's kind of her way of like, I don't know if it's coping, but like her way of just kind of expressing herself, being like, well, I can't see, guys. Like, what do you expect me to do? Like, that's just her always saying stuff like that.
It also makes her an extremely powerful earthbender. That's part of what makes her so powerful.
She's arguably one of the most powerful characters on the show because she is blind, and that's really cool. Actually, I think that's an incredible lesson for kids to see, being like, well, yes, I have a disability, but I use that to my strength. Like, I think that's great. I'm just curious how much of that they're going to keep in. Like, she could be blind. Are they still going to play up the idea that she kind of plays along with her disability in the show? Is what I'd be curious about.
Like Serenity says, that is the major part of her story that helps her become an amazing earthbender. And if you see, like, if you've watched any, or if you've got the expanded stories from Avatar, like, you're looking like all the subsequent stories that came out about her, she's basically a legendary individual in the world of Avatar. So
even in Korra, like, she's like the most powerful. I mean, she beat Korra, like she beat the Avatar. So like,
I think she's going to surprise people, and I like the casting. I don't know a lot about this actress,
She was
but
an Arrow,
I think.
I heard.
Oh, really?
She was Lance said in our group chat she was young. The villain from season 7. What's her name?
Amico.
Yeah, Miko. She was the young Amico in Arrow, apparently.
Oh, Paige's favorite character.
Oh, that makes sense because I think they filmed this in Vancouver.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
So she probably
I think it is a Canadian
Vancouver actress. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for this, and I'll be honest. I know the first season got a bad rap, but I enjoyed it. I know. Look, it's never going to live up to the cartoons. I think the cartoons are always going to be like the blueprint for this, but I kind of like that they are, going in this direction with the series. So
I'm curious because one of my biggest complaints of the first season, and I did overall enjoy. I had fun with it, but one of my biggest issues is I didn't feel like the characters had time to bond or like grow as a crew. So like going into season 2 was like, that's one thing I want to see more of, but now you're adding another member of the show, which works perfectly in the the original, because you spent all of book 1 letting these characters bond, half of book 2 letting them bond before even bringing someone else into the mix. So I'm curious, since they haven't done that groundwork yet, how is it going to be introducing the 4th member just like right off the bat? So I'll be curious. Also, how early into book 2 they do it. Like, is it episode 1, or do they wait a couple episodes like they did?
How many episodes was the first season? Was it 6, 8, 10? How many was it? Do you remember?
I think it's 8 episodes.
So I feel like they have to introduce her pretty early on then if they want to get any sort of like time with her. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I do want to see more from this world, so I'm good with this. Let's see. What do we got? What's up next? These are all these tabs that I have open here. Oh, this was the Sebastian Stan stuff. So I thought this was quite interesting, which is why I put it in the title, because we don't typically get Marvel actors sort of like giving comments. I think they're sort of told to not engage this way without permission. So maybe you got permission. I don't know. The only person that ever goes quote unquote off the rails is Tom Holland. We all know that that's pretty much like a stage thing where he pretends like he's not supposed to do something. I think it was also who was another actor. Yeah, Mark Ruffalo. I was gonna say one of the other actors did that as well. But Sebastian Stan addresses criticism against the MCU. Now, this is what he had to say. It's become really convenient to pick on Marvel films, and that's fine. Everyone's got an opinion, but they're a big part of what contributes to this business and allows us to have smaller movies as well. Before we go further, I do want to address that. I've said this before, that in order for the theaters to survive, for other movies to have the opportunity to come out, the unfortunate reality is you have to have blockbuster movies.
Yeah.
That's the only way it happens. Indie films and mid-budget films are not going to keep theaters alive. Every once in a while, you'll have one that'll come through and it'll break records, but for the most part, you need your James Bonds, you need your Marvel movies, you need your, I guess, DC movies, Pixar films, Disney movies. You need these big IPs to possibly keep the market alive, because that's what keeps people coming in. Was there a funny comment? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just saw Sebastian Marvel Stan, and it made me chuckle.
Oh, yeah, that is funny. Yeah, but you kind of need these movies for theaters to survive. So this is a real statement. This isn't him just sort of like puffing it up a little bit. He says here, this is an artery traveling through the system of this entire machinery that's Hollywood. It feeds in so many more ways than people acknowledge. Sometimes I get protective of it because of the intention is really fucking good. It's just fucking hard to make a good movie over and over again. And that's something that I think people need to understand. When people go in to create these movies, regardless of whether they come out as dog shit or not, like Madam Web, I think for the most part, most people working on these films want to put out the best product they can. Now, of course, there are people going in just for a paycheck. We know this. Some actors just will do anything as long as they're getting paid money. But at the end of the day, someone, part of that production, wants this to be good. Somebody wants it to be good. So I don't think they go in just trying to make a shit movie. I think the last movie that I can think of that was a shit movie that was made specifically to hold on to rights probably would have been in the 90s with that Fantastic Four movie they made. They just were using it to hold on to the rights or whatever. Some people try to argue that Sony is releasing Spider-Man enemy movies just to make sure they can hold on to the rights of Spider-Man. I don't know if that's true or not. Possibly. But I think for the most part, he's right. I think everybody goes into this with their best foot forward. And you look at something like the Eternals, which I always go back to that movie because that is the most un-MCU movie of the entire MCU, in my opinion, because it feels like they wanted Chloe to create something that felt different from anything they've ever done before.
Yeah.
And I think in a lot of ways it backfired, obviously, financially for them. But I think creatively, there's a lot of good things that happened in that movie. But because of the financial ramifications of trying something new that did not work immediately, obviously Marvel got cold feet about doing anything else like that again. And that's why we've not seen a continuation of that franchise. Now, they did say those characters will carry on, but we're probably not going to see an Eternals 2 anytime soon. But what do you think about his comments about everything he's saying here?
I mean, there's also a thing I think sometimes people forget about where, like, every year studios are going to put out good movies and bad movies. That's inevitable. It's going to happen. It's just the state of business. And what puts Marvel, I think, in such an interesting situation is, like, most studios, they put out a variety of different genres and movies and stuff, but they're not set in the same universe. Marvel Studios, all their movies are set in the same continuity. That's never really been a thing before. Like, you look at Pixar or, any other studio, they have a variety of different things. So when you are doing like a same kind of continuity, there are going to be good, there are going to be bads. And yeah, he's 100% right about, like, blockbusters needing to stay in business. It would be very interesting. And I do think we are now kind of stepping into a fray where some of these other franchises are kind of stepping up to the plate, and where it's not just Marvel now. You have some of these other guys with like Avatar. I think is real. It's been like that for a while, but they're finally picking up with those sequels. They're holding the bat. I think James Gunn could bring some of that to the table once he kind of gets his thing rolling. I don't know, Pokemon, I feel like at some point could like step up to the plate and be like, hey, we got great movies, guys, or whatever it may be. But,
after they're done suing Pal World, once they're done with that. So
Detective Pikachu 2, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Paige, what are your thoughts on this about, like, the idea that it's like easy, like they're the king of the hill a lot of times when it comes to this entertainment world.
What a joke.
Yeah, it's easy. They're easy targets because they're so big.
Well, yeah, they're always going to be the low-hanging fruit, the easiest one to go. One of the other things is that I know if you treat it all like, Eric's going to hate this, it's going to trigger something within him. But if you just pretend it's McDonald's, like it's McDonald's menu, MCU is the Big Mac. It's the burger that a lot of people go for. It makes them a lot of sales,
You're doing this because you know it's going to make me hungry, but continue.
If people aren't trying the normal cheeseburger, which might be a small indie film, or the double cheeseburger, which is a Scorsese movie, or whatever it is, or an A24, if they're not eating those, then they're going to take them off the menu.
Right.
They'll keep the Big Mac there, but
the Big Mac keeps the menu available for the smaller items, which is
at the moment. But at the end of the day, if something's not selling, they'll flick it off.
Holy shit!
And I mean, this year's been nice because, like, when you eat a Big Mac every day of your life, you're going to be exhausted of it. And this year you've had, one. That, like, one is special.
When you go to McDonald's, whether it's a Big Mac, whether it's a quarter pounder, whether it's the fries, how often are they perfect?
Yeah.
You might get some beautiful hot fries, a nice hot burger where the cheese is nice and melted. It's not,
or you might get the wrong order. You might get the wrong order sometimes.
Or like the person isn't cockeyed or something and hasn't like put the cheese on like half of the burger and pop out the box on the side. You're not going to get a perfect burger every single time. So that's the big thing. Yeah, like, but when you get the perfect Big Mac or the perfect fries, like, wow, how good's this?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to order some on DoorDash after we're done with this.
How long can we keep this?
I know, exactly.
Mission successful.
And I have to send him a picture when it arrives. All right. Next thing is,
Domino's.
I thought this was interesting. So this is about the Dead Boy Detectives and Obliterated. Did anybody watch Obliterated? I watched it. Did anybody else watch the Obliterated?
No, I saw like when you like hover over it on Netflix, saw the preview.
Yeah. You see, it is. Nate was one of the main stars of that show. Obliterated and Dead Boy Detectives draw highest viewership among Netflix canceled series the first half of 2024. And this is weird because I did see that Netflix has actually canceled in 4 years' time over 200 shows. In 4 years. And I went through and I looked, and things like Obliterated wasn't necessarily my cup of tea. It was kind of like, imagine like Ocean's 11, but like very mature. like a lot of sex jokes, things like that. It kind of was that type of series, and it was a little silly, but it was well made, and I could see that there was a possibility for it to like get better over time. Also, the ratings were really good. People were watching it. A lot of people I know were talking about it, and Dead Boy Detectives was extremely interesting. It was such a cool series. I like the cast of characters, and I think the next tab is the numbers here. Dead Boy Detectives drew 12.6 million views from its premiere in April through June, making it the second most popular canceled Netflix show so far this year. So it doesn't make sense. We've already talked about this with Dead Boy Detectives. I think this has more to do with the DC Warner Brothers stuff than it does with Netflix not wanting to continue, or a little combination of both. I don't know, but I feel like Netflix is no longer the bastion of saving shows anymore. It feels like they're just canceling anything and everything to me.
I definitely see the pattern where I feel like even shows with these very high view counts and stuff like that, I feel like if there's not a conversation about some of these shows, they're like, well, no one's talking about it, so why would we give it another season?
Right.
Where, like, you know, you can have a show where maybe, like, I don't know, it's weird though, because like then you have something like Sweet Tooth, where like nobody talks about that show, and it got 3 seasons, and it's like, well, okay, I don't know what the thing was with that show, but
look who has arrived.
Whoa. Isn't it past your bedtime?
I was gonna say, isn't it late for you? It's like almost midnight.
I don't have to work tomorrow, so.
Oh,
yay!
So he's decided to stop in.
Eric, might I say, you look drastically younger.
Do I?
Yeah.
Kiss
Okay,
ass.
No, Lance. Eric's in the top box. That's Darren. That's Darren in the second box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You've mixed them up again.
Yeah. So,
I think it's the beard being all black. I think that's what it is.
yeah, all black everything. You know, it's fun. But
That's the way I like it.
Sauce. Yeah, I was going to hashtag sauce.
makes me wait, hold on. Made me think about something. Has anybody ever watched, completely unrelated to this, I've talked about it before, these like YouTube shows called Pop the Balloon or Find Love? Has anybody seen these before?
Yeah.
I think I've heard
some of the most toxic people in the world are on these fucking shows.
And you know what's hilarious? That lady, happily, the host, happily married, just going on here basically having these people clown each other.
Arlette, right? That's the one you're talking about? Yeah. So her and her husband run this company. This is completely unrelated, and I'm sure Darren's never seen this, and Paige has no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. But Arlette started this trend of like these shows where it's like it's a speed dating show. Legitimately like reality TV. Like it's literally reality TV. The people on these shows are like blowing up because of this. But they line a bunch of people up. You get a balloon. Somebody walks out from behind the curtain or whatever, and you immediately decide if you like them or not. And if you pop the balloon, that means you don't like them. And then they go over to the person and ask them why they popped their balloon. So you can imagine how toxic that is.
So they walk over to get roasted, essentially.
Basically, it's a roast session. And some of them come on there, and that's all they're there for, is to get like a viral moment where they're roasting
some people's
people.
Balloons, like some people, like they walk out and immediately everybody pops the balloon.
Before they even ask their name, their age, whatever. One guy was on there and he just went down the line because all the girls kept popping their balloon. And he was just like, well, you're not up to par anyway. You're not on my level or whatever. He said it to every single one of the girls on there. It was like...
one girl told one guy he looked like a Ninja Turtle.
I know. It's just hilarious to me because these shows are getting so many views. But the reason why I thought about that is because last night I had one come on that was like not... it wasn't her show. It was another like knockoff version. And I clicked on it because some of them are just like really low budget. And this woman comes out and she was, I think, Dominican. I think she said she was Dominican. But the guy popped his balloon and told her he popped his balloon because she wasn't black enough for him. And she was like, but I'm black and Dominican. Well, you're not black enough. And I'm like,
what?
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, they will put anything. Like, these aren't regular shows, so they just leave this shit up. It's like this reality TV shit. Like, it's crazy to me. Silhouetted here with the $2 super chat. Again, like I said, I will pull up super chats as we get to them in the chat, but this is directly what we're talking about. $2 super chat. Thank you, Silhouetted Animator, because reality TV is cheap and it saves its like billions. Well, the thing about it is Arlette and her husband are getting super rich off of this series because they're doing not only do they do the shows, but the people that match up together, like the ones that actually link up, they come back for like these follow-up episodes. And then they also have this one now. It's like you have like people sitting behind a curtain and they have to pick the other person based on like answers to questions and stuff like that. So they're trying to change it up a little bit. Anyway, reality TV is cheap and it makes a lot of money, and you're going to see those shows continue. Yeah. Like the entire Food Network is based off of reality TV. So, and that's Discovery, which is David Zaslav and Warner Brothers and all those companies. So,
what's kind of interesting I've seen is I do think like now that we have so many like social media networks and people are doing things on their own, I almost wonder if some of the future of TV will just be on social media networks. Like how many TV shows now are you just seeing on YouTube? Like you would have these very popular crowd-funded shows. You know, you have the whole, like you have the like Has-Been Hotel, you know, era of shows that was originally just on YouTube, and it grew this massive audience. And you know, they're running entire like TV shows on there just from the.
You know what show I'm surprised is not just a YouTube exclusive. And I know like YouTube will have to buy the rights, or even if like the network that made it just made like a YouTube thing on their YouTube channel, they got all the revenue from it. Big Brother. Have the live stream go
24 hours a day. Yeah.
So people can just go in, they can go in at 1 a.m. they can go in at 1 p.m. You can click, there's like a main, and either one that like a jumps between it, or you can focus on one specific room. Like if you're freaky in the bathroom, if you're whatever, you can just focus on that one room.
I know Big Brother, the live streams have like a 10-second delay, so the people watching it can blur out anything that needs to be.
Well, yeah, if they need to, like you'd probably go more. You make it like a minute if you had to, just if someone decides to go Beau DeMayo on the stream.
Not the Beau DeMayo.
It's really crazy with like Hot Ones and stuff like that, where like that's just a YouTube show. It's like one of the most popular things on right now.
But it's one of the big like Hot Ones is really simple. That's the thing. That's the difficulty with YouTube, because I've seen like a thing. I was seeing like a thing on TikTok, ironically TikTok, but I was saying people like they think that people are sort of getting drawn down by the overproduced content on YouTube. Like I think it's mainly with like vlogs and stuff like that, and like video games.
I mean, look at what's happening with Mr. Beast and all that drama. Let's not even go down that rabbit hole with Mr. Beast.
Well, Mr. Beast's like videos aren't really YouTube at this point. They're just
now he's got to deal with Prime, so like it's a whole thing.
Apparently, Hot Ones might start streaming their episodes on Netflix.
That's what I heard.
I saw something like that. I was like,
I think Hot Ones is one of the few that legitimately could just move away from YouTube into like a real thing. You know what I mean?
They had a game show for a while, like before COVID.
Yeah,
they had like a legit game show, but I think too many people came close to death eating that stuff. So
I feel like even like a Squid Games would fit very well in like
probably.
Space. Yeah.
So Christian, this is funny. I've seen that as well when it was always intended to be a 1-season show. So I'm like, why are you celebrating when it's literally always been it's a limited series?
Who said it was canceled? It's always been a limited series.
A lot of the like the awful channels, you know what I'm talking about.
Have we seen the ratings yet for it? Because I feel like a lot of people have been watching it. Like I've heard a lot.
I think they take like until is it Sunday or something?
Yeah, it takes a few days. Yeah,
I'll be very curious because like
full ratings that can take like a week or something.
I have seen a lot of buzz about Agatha on social media more than I actually expected. Actually, more than the Acolyte, to be honest. So,
I've seen more talk about Agatha than probably since like WandaVision. Like I've seen just casual fan like I mean, people in my family are just
technically this is WandaVision season 2. This is technically WandaVision season 2. Like to be honest,
my like 50-year-old aunt is like posting it on Facebook. Like she's watching Agatha. I was like, what are you doing?
Well, it's got Patti LuPone on it. It's got a lot of people that would pull in like an older audience. So I think it's gonna be fine.
I like it.
Let's talk about who else is doing fine. Jared Leto. Went back to method acting on the set of Tron Ares while playing Big Rock Star. During an appearance on SiriusXM's Literally with Rob Lowe, the veteran actor opened up about his experience rejoining the Tron franchise opposite Leto and how he navigated his method ways. So we're not going to read the article. It's a long article, but
he's in Australia at the moment.
I mean, just imagine everything he did with all of his other movies. He gets into like this weird thing where he's basically just whatever character it is that he's supposed to be playing and doing that. How do we feel about this? This is kind of nobody really does this anymore. I mean, do we feel like it's necessary for this?
I think actually a decent amount of actors probably do. They just don't push it. Like I think there's a difference between being like method and then probably doing what Jared Leto does, where because method is when like you're on set and stuff like that, but he seems to do it when he's off set. but still in that shooting schedule.
So, like, he goes to McDonald's, he is still trying to Aries when he goes.
Well, I think he's vegan, so I don't think he goes to McDonald's.
Well, he goes to the vegan McDonald's.
I mean, he's rich, so he probably has like a personal chef that makes him like really good.
That makes the vegan McDonald's for him.
Yeah, it makes him like some mad that you wouldn't even be able to tell it's shitty vegan food. But yeah, like he just probably pushes it too much. I think there's probably more actors than people think that go, quote unquote method, because especially if you're doing like an accent or something like that, like it's hard to like go in and out of an accent. Like not many actors will be able to do it, or at least keep it consistent.
I have to say though, it hasn't done much for him, right? I mean, his movies haven't done really well, so I don't know if he should change it up a little bit. Maybe
I haven't fact checked it, but was it confirmed the He-Man news with him that came out the other day, or was that just clickbait?
I haven't seen any confirmation of that.
Okay,
so.
Gotcha.
We do have a super chat here from Lone Wolf that isn't really a topic that we're going to talk about, but I'll bring it up. Let me drop this down for a second.
What is Paige eating?
That's not me. That's Eric chewing ice.
It's not me.
I'm not eating anything.
I don't chew ice. What are you talking about?
You were just chewing ice.
What's in Darren's cup?
Gaslight
tea.
me.
Green tea.
That purple stuff.
You love tea.
I do.
Drink so much tea. Be careful. Be careful. It gives you the runs.
Oh,
no, that's coffee.
Oh, that is?
No, it's tea as well. You drink too. Trust me, you drink too much. I caught the con crud, and I was drinking a lot of tea. I regretted it.
Yeah, but that's like shitty American tea. Actually, that's, to be fair, that's what Darren will be drinking.
Yeah. So, Lone Wolf here, channel member, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Lone Wolf. So, I don't know if you've heard about the Jeremy Jahns controversy, that recently happened on X, Twitter. He's getting unalive threats for review, which is his job. This is a lot to unpack. Honestly.
I didn't realize it was a coffin emoji. When did that happen? Was there a coffin emoji?
I don't know. There's a lot to unpack, so let me try and condense this for anybody that doesn't know, because if you're in the chat, you might not know. So, Daily Wire released a movie with Matt Walsh called Am I Racist? And it got reviewed by Jeremy Jahns, who... Do you all know who Jeremy Jahns is? Everybody know who that is? Lance?
Yeah, the film guy, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. YouTuber.
I don't know if you guys covered it on Party Nation or not. Yeah. So I
just found out about it today.
Okay, so he reviewed this movie and did not talk about the context of the production of the movie, like what the movie was intended to do. So basically he reviewed it without diving into it. For me, that's a little... I like when people... If there is some controversy surrounding a movie, I like when a critic actually talks about that, because I think it is important culturally to discuss controversies about movies if you're going to review the film, because I think it does make a difference. However, he chose not to do that. And I haven't watched Jeremy Jahns since like 2 or 3 years now. I just stopped watching his reviews. He doesn't really like, he's just not very, I don't know. I don't want to talk bad about him because I don't really watch his content. So I really don't know what he's doing now, but I got really bored with him because he was doing the same stuff and his reviews got a little like, so I just kind of tuned out, but
I agree.
Yeah. But apparently he did blackface.
What?
Yeah. He apparently painted himself black to pretend to be Blade in one of his movie reviews back in the day. And I didn't know about this until recently. Yeah, there's pictures of it. It's a real thing. He did it.
Yeah.
So he did blackface in a video. And he wasn't S. Mouse or whoever that guy is from Australia. Smouse.
Slap my elbow.
Yeah. But he did that in one of his videos, and so a lot of people are like, this guy is watching movies about racism while he also did blackface, and it's this weird thing about it. Like, to be very clear about it.
That's a bad look.
Yes, but I will say this unequivocally. I don't care who you are, how much I don't like you, how much I hate you, how much you don't like me, whatever. Jesus. Do not send unalive threats to people on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, do not do it. I don't care if you absolutely despise the person. Do not do that. It is not good to do that to anybody. Even the people that I absolutely hate on this platform, I would never, ever personally send them anything like that, and I would not condone anybody sending anything like that. But you can absolutely talk shit about them. That I 100% am okay with. So
that's what Paigey does to me on a daily basis.
Is it? Is that what you do, Paigey?
No comment.
Okay. All right, so we have I do see these super chats from Silhouette Animator about both Superman and Lois and Agatha. Naruto also had a comment about Agatha. We do have a Superman and Lois trailer we're going to watch here in a second.
Speaking of which,
yeah,
Michael Cudlitz followed me today.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a bit jealous.
Literally, I commented
God.
on. I commented.
How much money did you send him for that?
I commented on his page. Like, he shared the trailer, and I told him like, oh my God, what I saw in the trailer, and like he just followed me. I said I was shocked.
Yeah, you should get an interview with him. Could you imagine Party Nation with Michael Cudlitz?
I'm gonna try.
You should.
Bro, you were roasting him last episode. You cannot have Party Nation.
No,
you better make that members only right now. Make it members only right now.
No, have you seen the preview image that they gave to what was it, EW, of like when Lex was like in Lois's office? I just said I wouldn't be intimidated by like that. This Lex isn't a Lex that you will be intimidated by. Like, I don't think this Lex.
Why don't you send him that clips? Like, now that he follows you, go ahead and send that clip to him.
I'll clip it out. I'll tag him on Twitter. It'll be great.
But you gotta admit, like, you wouldn't be the Lex in Superman and Lois's universe. Like, they didn't meet. Like, he's not Superman's enemy until now, when Superman is like what, early 40s. So apparently he wasn't a threat back then. And of course, I wouldn't be threatened by a guy in skinny jeans, a leather jacket with a blowout, and a beard that does not match the blowout. I wouldn't be intimidated by him. He didn't get intimidating until he went to prison and beat that man and said, "You're my chair." He didn't get intimidating until then.
You know, it is what it is.
That was still hilarious, though. Like, that's like a top 10 scene from the CW right there.
All right. Before we dig this hole any deeper for you and Michael Cudlitz, let's talk about some of the new stuff coming to YouTube here. So if you didn't see this is quite interesting. So YouTube is giving small creators a chance to grow. YouTube's the new features consist of the hype button. They're going to be adding this soon, where you can upvote channels under 500K subs, and if you get enough hype votes, you get promoted on the front page of YouTube. So like you get cycled into like the main page for like the algorithm, so to speak.
So basically, Pagey doesn't need this.
Well, he doesn't have 500K. He's under 500K.
I was going to say, this is something that would probably be easily like tampered with. I could easily see this being something taken, and then I could see this being gone in like a month or two after it's launched. Like, YouTube's tried stuff like this before.
Oh my God, Lance did change his opinion on Teen Wolf movie, so he's unpredictable.
That movie was... upon further inspection, that movie was truly ass.
Okay.
Are there downvotes is a great question.
I don't think so. I think so. The upvote, the hype thing, I think builds up over time. Like, you'll see it on a channel where it'll have like a little rating system or something. I'm not sure exactly. They talked about it. I watched a video on all this, so I understand what it is, but they didn't really show the interface. But they say there's going to be some sort of like power meter where you can see when somebody's getting close to being
I am surprised that it's so high. Why is it 500K? It should be like 50K or maybe.
Well, that's what Quinlan. Look, Quinlan says here. Why isn't under 250K? Like 500K is a lot. They don't need help. It's true.
A lot. Yeah, that's a big channel.
Okay, so this one's interesting. You're going to be able to gift jewels during live streams. So similar to Bits over on TikTok. Twitch.
Yeah.
And TikTok. Yeah, and Instagram
like
and all the places
TikTok.
also.
Yeah.
You will be able to buy, like, people in the chat here. Why?
Stripping? It's mainly because people will just get loaded up with them. It's not like with a super chat where you just specifically go, okay, well, put $5 and here's a super chat and stuff, but you'll load $100 in there and just like, oh, well, I've got them, so I'll just spend them all.
Oh yeah, or also I think the way it's going to work similar like Twitch, where the longer you stay on there, you just get them over time and then you can use them or something like that.
Maybe. Yeah.
So either way, I actually think this is a good thing. Now, I know for me personally, when I was streaming on Twitch for a few months, I never really had people using Bits, so I don't know how common it is. But we'll see if it actually does anything here on YouTube. And they say it's mostly for like the shorts live stream, the vertical streams.
Sure.
They're going to promote it more there because I guess super chats aren't as common on those. So We'll see. I don't know. Whatever it is, I hope if creators can benefit from it, that YouTube does not take a big cut, because we know they always love to do that. Now, the next one is really interesting. Auto dubbing. Creators will be able to generate audio translations of their voices automatically. So, for example, they will take your video using your voice, the way your voice sounds, and automatically dub it and make your mouth move in another language. So you could do your videos in Spanish or Japanese, and it will literally translate you into another language. Now,
si senor. All right.
Yeah. So here's the only thing, though. They will be training their AI using your voice. If you opt into this, they'll be training their AI using your voice and your mannerisms and stuff like that. Now, if you don't care about that, it's not a big problem. I will say this will 1,000% benefit every channel that uses it. 1,000%. Because right now, and Paige, you know this for a fact, we've talked about this. There was a couple of channels when the Arrowverse was on that were in like Portuguese and Spanish, and they weren't like, the production quality wasn't that great, but because no one in those countries was doing that content, like there wasn't a lot of people doing that content, those channels were massively successful.
Yeah.
So if you are someone who is making content about something, even a niche topic, if it can automatically dub you into another language, you will definitely pick up new viewers and new subscribers for that.
Oh, crap.
What?
David Ayer just shared a photo of the Warner Brothers logo, like he's at the studio.
Not again.
And now everybody's in the comments, like, go on. Oh, my God. It's happening. Are they going to do it?
Can someone tell him that nobody cares?
You're standing on business over there.
I actually think once Creature Commandos comes out, any other older stuff will not see anything. Yeah. Like I don't think we're going to see one anyway, but I think the whole idea of that should just go away completely, because it doesn't make a lot of sense. But David Ayer, like, you guys don't worry about it. It's nothing. Any of these things make you guys excited as content creators? Like, are we thinking this is good, not good?
I mean, it could be cool. Like if we're giving smaller creators, I mean, I think everyone here is like a semi-smaller creator. Definitely not around the 500K mark. So, like, yeah, it's definitely, the potential is definitely exciting. But like Paige said, there's definitely like a fear that either people are going to mistreat this feature, they're gonna, ruin it for the channels that do need this feature. So we'll see.
I 100% say getting exploited.
Yeah. But look, this is the funny thing. Like, we're talking about the AI stuff or whatever. If they make you, like, if they dub you in Spanish and they say something wrong and it makes it look like you actually said it, you have to be like, I don't know Spanish. Like, I didn't say that. It was the auto AI system or whatever. Could you imagine, like, the drama that would come from that?
Oh, well, I know.
Like, mother.
Well, that's the thing. I'm concerned because they're probably going to base it off like an American voice to then, and I already know. Like, I've seen my auto captions and what words and things I'm saying.
All right. Now, in the not so good world of YouTube, if you're not paid for YouTube Premium, you will now get ads when you pause videos. So good luck with that one. May the odds ever be in your favor that you have a ad blocker that works or whatever. But I feel like this isn't a good look for them, because it makes it seem like they're extremely desperate. Most people I know are paying for YouTube Premium. There's a handful of people that don't, and I get it. It's not cheap. But most people I know are either paying for YouTube Premium or YouTube Music separately, which gets you no ads as well. So is that not generating enough money for them? Are Super Chats not generating enough money for them? Because they take a big chunk of those too. So it's like, how much more do they need at this point where when you pause videos, you're getting ads now? And how will that affect us as creators? Yeah,
I feel like that takes away from I don't know, like, I feel like often when I'm pausing it, like, it's like, oh, someone's coming into my room, they want to talk to me about something, or right. Like, I don't want to do whatever, and like, well, no, the volume's still playing. How do I, or like people who want to be like, oh, here, I want to show you a screenshot, or I want to show you this part of a video, let me pause it here. They can't do that because there's an ad playing. So right. Like,
You know the sketch ads, like the really sketchy ads that YouTube has had recently? Can you imagine like you're sitting in the doctor's office or something and you're watching YouTube and somebody walks in and you pause it. It's like, oh yeah, baby. Or something like that comes on. Like,
no, what ads are you getting? What ads
You've not seen these? You've not seen these on YouTube?
Are you talking? Are you confusing it with RedTube?
No, like if you go on Reddit, you can see YouTube is allowing ads from like these games that have like really questionable content.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's like clearly they're like they're making bad game ads for people to be like, what the fuck is this game? Let me download
and it's like stuff like people throwing sausages and you see a girl bouncing around in a swimsuit saying stuff. Yeah, well they're doing it because they're trying to get people to click on it. So they're trying to trick you into clicking on it.
Weird videos you're watching.
Yeah. It's not me, it's ads. This is why I have a premium account because I don't want to see that shit. That's why I have it. Anyway, moving on. YouTube is going large. YouTube is going large on generative AI. Oh, great.
Oh, Jesus.
Positioning new features coming out of the platform, enabling creators to unlock new forms of expression. Now, I want to point this out. Right now, it's just for shorts. And basically, you will be able to create entire videos on generative AI for shorts as a creator. This is the AI that people were complaining about that Paige and I've talked about that it's not good. Because this is the stuff where it's like deep fakes can happen and things like that. And I'm pretty sure YouTube's going to have some sort of rails on the system so you can't just do anything. But this is why I know AI thumbnails are right around the corner. I feel like they're literally right around the corner at this point.
I feel like they're already here. I feel like I'm seeing so much AI usage from creators that I like respect, where I'm like, well, why are we? I don't know why are we going this. The whole like AI thing. I sometimes think, and I was like, how far gone do we kind of have to go? Like, I'm sitting here like I don't like AI. Like I don't like in terms of where we're going with it. Like I feel like it's such a slippery slope. Where now it might be okay, but someday, it might not be. And I think this way. But like also, is it just because it's new? Like, am I afraid of things that are new? Like, someday my kids are gonna be like, "Oh, it's okay, Grandpa. AI is fine." The same way that we, our parents treated smartphones. Like,
my freak out about it is more about the abuse of AI than it is about the AI itself. Like, I don't mind that there are people that could, like, especially people that have disabilities and things where they need assistance for stuff. It is going to be very helpful in that. It's going to be helpful in the healthcare field. There's a lot of places where the application of it is going to be very helpful. But I think in the entertainment space, it's a problem. And it's a problem because we're already seeing issues with it here. And YouTube has been like, oh, we don't want AI on our platform. And then, oh, now we're rolling out AI on shorts. It's like, it's two different, it's a mixed message from them.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit concerned about it. I would like to think that YouTube is going to be a bit careful about like how they do this, but their track record is not good when it comes to this kind of stuff.
It's been really interesting watching them integrate it into the public eye. Like it's this like super normal thing. Like ads for AI is everywhere. Every other commercial, every other movie, every other, even media for the last 50 years.
Speaking of that. Speaking of that.
Oh yeah. But like, like this media in general has been training us that like, AI is okay. AI is on our side. AI is good. Like we had The Creator last year, which was all about humans are bad, AI is good, or like computers are good. And it's like, I don't know. Again, maybe it's like just a boomer, like maybe I have this boomer mindset when it comes to this like thing.
I don't think it totally is, because I think it's okay to be concerned about it, but also understand that it is going to be a part of the world. I mean, like if you updated your, was that Paigey? What are you laughing about?
I'll reveal it after this.
Okay. Let me finish this segment and then you can tell me. Lionsgate now has a deal with an AI firm to do generative AI models for their films and stuff. And this actual firm that they're working with has been taken to court multiple times. So this is like not good. I just think when it comes to entertainment, we need to be very careful about what we allow, because I think AI is going to be useful in just about every other aspect of life. But I think in this regard, we need to be mindful of it. Now, what were you laughing at, Paigey, so we can move on?
It comes up every year, but it always makes me like, you can't help but giggle. It's around a tragic circumstance, but it's more just like the seriousness that people talk. So like it always comes up every year, like the songs that were banned after 9/11.
What made you think of this? What were you even thinking of this?
It might have been Lance, I'm not too sure, but anyway, I'll just read out a few that I'm surprised. Well, actually, fun fact: the Limp Bizkit music video to "Rollin'" got taken off because they filmed on the Twin Towers. And when they're
not so fun.
when they're on the building top, that's one of the Twin Towers they're performing on.
I mean, I remember the Spider-Man movie had to get changed because
yeah.
Of it.
Here's some songs: "Alien Ant Farm," "Smooth Criminal," no. "Sabotage" by Beastie Boys, "Have Fun," not getting played after 9/11.
Are these really are these real things that were banned, or are you making these up?
No, there's Brooklyn Bridge is the band. "Worst That Could Happen" is the song.
Really? I don't think I've ever heard any of this before.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. Oh my god. "Rock the Casbah" by The Clash. Not after 9/11. "Holy Diver" by Dio. "American Pie," Don McLean.
Yeah,
they drive the car off a cliff in that song, don't they?
Yeah, but I think the issue is that people had an immediate visceral reaction to stuff like that right after 9/11, because I don't think anybody really thinks about that anymore, to be honest.
Yeah. "Benny and the Jets," Elton John.
That's weird.
Oh my god! "Hey Man, Nice Shot" by Filter. Oh god.
That one seems a little bit more. I mean, I kind of get it, but
Foo Fighters, "Learn to Fly."
Really? This is a joke. You're reading this off.
I'm not.
I swear to God.
164 songs that were banned.
We're not going to go through 164 songs.
No. I'm just reading out the ones that I get through. It's Frank Sinatra, "New York, New York." Banned after not allowed to be played around 9/11. Jimi Hendrix, "Hey Joe."
That's what I'm saying. You're naming these songs, and I don't know what the references are or why they're connected.
Well,
so,
there's some ones
it's extremely unimportant to me.
Lenny Kravitz, "Fly Away."
Okay, got it. Literally got it. I don't see. I mean, unless there's some sort of additional context, it's just you're naming songs. You're laughing. I don't. Do you know the joke behind the reason why? I don't know.
No, I don't know. It's just some of the songs seem really silly, and then some of them are just
Well, a lot of it was silly because people had a knee-jerk reaction as well.
Yeah.
But
"Fly" by Sugar Ray.
Sugar Ray was actually really good.
Oh god. "Jumper" by Third Eye Blind.
That one makes sense.
"Jump" by Van Halen.
That one doesn't. But okay. All right. So last thing before we move into our trailers. AMC theaters, Regal, and another.
"All Star" by Smash Mouth was banned.
Stop naming songs. I don't care about this.
I'm trying to think of this.
AMC, Regal, and large theater chains plan to spend $2.2 billion to upgrade their theaters, and look at what they're adding. Instead of coming up with things that make people actually come to the theaters, they're going to be adding pickleball, zip lines, and bowling alleys.
Zip lines.
What's America's obsession with pickleball? It's just tennis for less athletic people. It's just
I've never played it in my life.
It's like tennis, but with a waffle ball, isn't it? One of those really ones that doesn't.
I mean, I can say Regal is all we really have around here. That's the only movie I have. And a couple years ago, they filed for bankruptcy. So I don't know how they're going to afford that. I don't know anybody. I don't
Actually. Keep going. I thought you were about to.
No. I was just gonna say, I know they're doing it a lot this year, but the last several years they've been doing a lot of these return to movies. Every week they've been doing these. It's a mystery movie, so you don't know what movie you're going to see, or it's they'll just randomly be hey, we're showing Terminator, and it's I don't know you're showing Terminator, okay, but I don't know if that will help. I don't know.
I mean, it says here they're going to do sound, projection, seating, and dining, but all of that seems to me like it's not really going to be a big deal. Those are minor changes, most likely. And honestly, they could say they're changing it and they're not going to. You have no idea. Yeah. But literally adding a zip line, who the fuck is going to a movie theater to get on a zip line? I
mean, maybe if it's one of those kid ones, a little one that a 5-year-old. But I don't know. Probably Darren wasn't into it. But were you or Lance or Eric or Lance? Were you into? Nothing sus. Did you get like the movie pass? Did you ever do movie pass?
I did a movie pass for a while. Yes, I had one.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you exploit the hell out of it?
What do you count as a movie pass? Just to clarify.
Where you get to see like
pass.
X amount of free movies a month or discounted movies.
I get
things
that.
Like that.
No,
I have-
I'm specifically. Did you specifically go with the company movie pass, like that program?
No, I don't have the company movie pass now.
No, because I watched
I
that
have-
documentary, the HBO documentary about it, like about a month and a half ago or something like that. And I was just wondering if any of you did it. They don't do
Logo
anything like
agrees
that in
with
America
you.
'cause they
Agrees with you
lose
about
money.
the songs, and I also agree. I think some of them sounded stupid to do what they did, but a lot of people had knee-jerk reactions to them. So.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that September 11th was a Tuesday because Tuesdays Gone by Leonard Skinner is also another band
maybe.
song.
You know what? I honestly don't know, but you're probably right.
I think movie theaters are hard because it's how do you remarket movie theaters to new audiences? Like,
well,
I think the biggest thing you can do is make them cheaper. Like that's the only thing that like I think can like legitimately make someone go, well, I'll go to the movies this weekend.
Like I said, my movie theater is less than $10 a ticket, and that's very unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Like most theaters do not charge less than $10. However, the food is really good, and they have a full bar, and they make so much money off of that. Like honestly, if you go there and you have two people, and this is my normal like order, you both get a meal, you get an appetizer, you get a couple drinks, you're spending over $100.
Yeah,
but it's not just popcorn. You know what I mean? Like you're legitimately getting food and drinks and stuff. So
popcorn.
You know what? I actually think they've been doing. It's been cool this year, and obviously it's always been somewhat of a thing. But I think the somewhat of the fun going back to the movie theater has been all these popcorn buckets. Like I do feel like that's almost an incentive for people. Yeah, no, they like for almost every big.
I've been having fun with this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, thank God you cleaned it this time.
Yeah, I mean, did you guys see the new Venom? Bucket? Like
I'm gonna have fun with that one.
But that looks like that wasn't intentionally sus.
Well,
it's just cool.
And then the Batman one with the bat signal that you have to like plug in and stuff. Cool. Like they're becoming crazy, but they're also becoming collector's items, and they do charge a lot for them, but it is bringing people back into the theater. So I feel like but see, that makes sense though. It makes sense. That is a thing that you can do that makes sense to be in a movie theater. Zip lines do not make sense.
I think the issue with those popcorn buckets is that you can just go in and buy the popcorn bucket. I think it should be. If you see the movie, you get the popcorn bucket. You can buy the popcorn bucket.
Yeah. So with us, when we went to see, I have them in the car. I'll have to bring them in. Went to see Deadpool and Wolverine. They had custom like glass, really nice Deadpool and Wolverine glasses.
Yeah.
But you had to order the drink, and you had to be in the theater. Like they wouldn't just sell you the glasses. Like you had to have purchased a ticket, sitting down, ordering a meal. Once you do that, you can order as many glasses as you want, but you have to actually be in there ordering food to get it. So
yeah, you definitely need something where like you can only get this in a theater. So like I even crossed my mind where like, what if you did like Funkos that are like exclusive for the theater? So like you have to buy this Funko at a AMC or like a Regal or whatever. Like I feel like that could be a fun idea. Where like, oh yeah,
you're
I got
onto
Funko
something,
with the
Darren. Darren, you're onto
good
something.
Idea. They used to do T-shirts. I have a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy T-shirts.
T-shirts would be great, yeah.
So,
or I mean, they like kind of do that with posters, where like if you come and see this movie, you can get this exclusive poster. I don't know if anybody cares about posters, so maybe that's not the best one. But yeah, like I love Funko
posters.
or a stuffed animal or toy.
What about a really cool hat, like one of the like a hat with a logo on it or something like that, like a New Era hat? That would be really good. Okay, so now we're gonna get to some trailers. And we're going to go through these. We have a handful of them. Let me see. I'm going to have to pull these up one at a time, though, because of how StreamYard works. I don't know. Is there a way to do StreamYard that isn't, like, pulling things up one at a time? I don't think it is. I think you have to do it this way. All right. Which one is this? This is Splinter Cell. Somebody said to watch this one, so this is only 45 seconds. So let's give this one a go. This is apparently a Netflix cartoon about Splinter Cell Death Watch. Is anybody else familiar with this at all? Or
well, I played Splinter Cell back in the day, but didn't even know there was a show coming out.
I don't know what Splinter Cell is. I know it's about a splinter in a cell. That's all I know.
At first I was like Ninja Turtles. I was like, probably not.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what this is any good. Again, as with always with our trailers, if you're watching this on playback, the trailers may be missing, and if they are, you have to be here live. I'm sorry, you just have to make it a part of your routine. if not, all the commentary will still be here. So let's give it a shot.
And the twerking.
Don't be afraid.
Too late.
Darkness is a good thing.
No Diddy.
Ubisoft and film and television.
Once you get used to the shadows.
I want to say this. It feels like and I said this earlier this year, and I'm still going to stand by this. I feel like we're in a renaissance of animation. I feel like there's so much animation being made, and I don't know if it's because it's necessarily easier or if because the actual medium is doing better. I'm not really sure. Like, is there any? You guys have any theories about that? Or,
I mean, it's something I've spotted. Like, I feel like we had for the last 10 years, it was like, oh, let's turn all these animated or comic projects into live action. I think they're finally realizing, oh, animation is just a great medium. Like I think Transformers and Garfield and like Lord of the Rings and.
I think it's just because it's so fucking expensive to make shit now. Like, you look at, like, it's just cheaper to do the animation, and you can also get a bigger star. Like, if this was live action, I don't know if they'd get Liev Schreiber to do it in live action, or they'd probably have to get someone that's maybe a bit cheaper to get. But because it's animation, he probably goes in and records all of his lines in a week or something like that, and he's done.
And then they just have to build the show around that.
Yeah.
So let's keep going here.
You see bad people for who they really are.
Hear that, Eric?
And they'll never see you coming for them.
I mean, look, I'm not super well versed on anything with Splinter Cell, but I like the animation style and I like Liev, so I'm totally going to give this a shot. Does it have the date when it comes out on here?
It's weird. They're doing a lot of Tom Clancy stuff now. They're trying to get back, because a lot of Tom Clancy stuff in the 90s, and now they're trying to get back into the Tom. Like, they're doing a Rainbow Six movie, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a movie. It might be a Netflix movie. I'm not too sure. Maybe Netflix got some of the rights to some of the stuff. I'm not too sure. But a lot of it's like fairly similar. It's sort of like a lot of like war or spy sort of stuff. So you probably have to diversify it a bit.
Oh, this one's interesting. The Devil May Cry animated trailer came out.
Yeah, I think they just got finished with like the Netflix event or whatever. So a bunch of.
That's why we're getting. So I was gonna say we have a Wednesday behind the scenes trailer too. So
yeah, and Stranger Things and like there's a bunch of those kind of.
Bug in my face, Jesus! What's happening here?
LOL.
It's Australia all over again. All right, here we go.
What do you mean by that?
This guy.
I was being racist against Australia.
I was going to say, it's not against your standard to be racist.
He's something else.
Again, so far, animation looks really solid.
Fucking Prowler music.
Is it? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. But this is like a blend of like the VFX stuff we see like with What If, but with like a traditional animation, which I really like.
It looks like
this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it looks like something.
Okay.
Guy. He's something else.
He's something else. Someone else.
Isn't that from fucking Batman
The
video?
way he moves. The hits he took.
His name
That would have been banned on 9/11.
is Dante.
What kind of work do you do exactly?
Yes, America, where you get gun instead of pizza.
Well, sometimes you have to order a gun. But,
Yes. Has that ever happened to you, Eric? Yeah, Domino's, can I get a gun? Thank you. Yeah.
I will say this also. I believe that it is. I think it's finally happened. It's been a minute because I know the 90s it was really popular, but it was like they got away from doing anything that looked like anime. There was a period in time where they tried to get away from like anime looking cartoons, but I think Netflix has decided that their anime division, is so popular that they're going to make products that look like anime.
Well, speaking of anime, how good is the Digimon soundtrack? The Digimon movie soundtrack. It's one of the top soundtracks of all time.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
Arguably goated.
Ugh.
Demon hunting. Let's dance.
I will say this: that totally looks like if you're a fan of like Devil May Cry, you're gonna pretty much love the series. I think.
Is that like an already established anime? Because I know nothing.
It's a
about
game.
Video game.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a game. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
They did a reboot a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Or a
no
remaster.
it's no game the goodest of boys would play.
How dare you?
The gates of hell will be open soon.
Ooh, a bunny.
Hope to see you.
Ooh,
I
April
believe it was a
2025.
rabbit.
So that's
I
pretty
believe
good.
it was a rabbit, Lance. Might have been a hare. It may have been a hare.
Silhouette Anime with the $5 super chat. FYI, fellow DBZ fan, Geek Drums. I like DBZ too. I just don't have any posters on my wall. There's
Fake
a
fan.
Philippines knockoff.
Are you getting
called,
Sparking Zero?
maybe.
Is that a new
Are you-
mineral
are you-
water or something?
I already got it pre-ordered. Like,
Do you really? Okay.
182 characters. I'm not missing that.
It's a fight.
That is a lot.
There's 182 characters in Dragon Ball.
There's
more than
probably,
that.
I would say there's more than that probably.
Fuck, how many can I
Thousands,
name?
right?
Goku, Vegeta.
If you start counting the movies, which a lot of those aren't considered canon, but if you start counting those, there's a lot even more. There's
And
even
then
more
Do you
than that.
count like all the? Do you count all the different types of Boo as different individual characters?
Well, Boos are different.
Yes.
They would be considered different characters, yeah.
But then
Yeah,
you
but are
got
there,
Dragon
like-
Ball Daima coming out too, which is introducing like a whole bunch of different demon characters. So
Also, was Fat Boo just called Fat Boo, or was that normal Boo?
that's
Yeah.
fat. That's Fat Boo. He absorbed a fat Supreme Kai.
Yeah, and then he turns everyone into chocolate and then eats them.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
I actually have a
to be
I have
fair-
a t-shirt with that Boo on it, and he talks about like DBZ chocolate. It's pretty
To
funny.
be fair, all the Boos turn people into chocolate. So
Yeah.
As someone who's
But he
never
says here
franchise, I'm confused.
there's a Filipino knockoff called Simario at Sigoku that has Mario and Goku teaming up against a two-headed Dracula.
I'm gonna have
Wow.
to try to find that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's interesting.
Wouldn't
Thank you for
Dracula
that.
try to kill the other Dracula though? Like,
Maybe. We do have a super chat from Alex Alexander. And this is not related to anything really, so we'll do it here between the two trailers. Thank you for $5. This
Oh,
is
by
for
the way,
yeah.
Alex Alexander super chatted last time. I was like, there was a teacher at my school in high school who had the same thing. His first and last name was the same thing. I was like, what was it? For some reason, I thought it was Adam Adams, but it wasn't. His name was Andrew Andrews.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's
That's
great.
crazy. This is for Eric. Between the Spider-Verse movies and Insomniac Spider-Man games in the MCU Phase 4 and 5, which are telling better story. Why me specifically? Why are you putting me on the spot?
Because you're
I
the
think
Marvel shill.
everybody
They
can
don't
answer.
like us.
I'm definitely not a Marvel shill. I'm definitely not a Marvel.
As he leans
shill.
back with the
So,
Marvel
you know.
shirt. Yeah.
I'm going to say this. I think the Insomniac Spider-Man games are some of the best Spider-Man stories we've ever had. And
my
a
favorite
lot of that has to do with the... Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the immersion in that one because especially... Oh, my God. You're making me think back to the Aunt May storyline. That one was rough. But yeah, there's an immersion factor in video games that you can't really capture in movies and TV shows. Even the best ones, you just can't do it. So I would say for me, personally... Even though I love the Spider-Verse movies and I love Tom Holland and all the other Spider-Man movies, I think the games tell better stories.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I'm a diehard gamer, so I love games. So
yeah, I mean, it helps that like you literally are Spider-Man in those games. Like it's you, and so you get to connect with it. And like, how many hours are those? What they're like?
Oh my
10-hour
God.
games?
Yeah.
Like that's way more than you've ever spent time with Spider-Man outside of the shows, I guess. But
yeah. Any thoughts on that, Lance? You got any opinions on the Spider-Man stuff? I know you didn't ask, but
I'd say the game. My chair is broken and it keeps dropping. Jesus. But I definitely say the games have the better story, but it's only because of the time constraints and the time that you have with the characters. But as Darren said, like in the games, like you are Spider-Man. Like when I'm playing the Peter Parker games, I just sit there and be like, "Wow, I'm a white guy." So,
well, I have to say the Miles Morales game is really good too. I don't know if you played that or not. That's a really good one.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I still haven't beat that one yet.
What?
But only because I'm
it's
lazy.
the shortest one.
Yeah,
It is, and it's got a really good story. It takes place in the wintertime, so New York is covered in snow. It's great.
Like
And
I
Spider-Man 2?
made it to the last mission, and then another game came out at that time. So
But and like also not to keep railing on this, but like I it's also fun that it's like 10 years into his career, so you're like already
Yeah.
established as those characters. You just get to live in it, which is great.
I can't wait for another one. I'm pretty sure they're going to do more of in that world.
Spider-Man
so.
3 is happening, and then the Wolverine game is happening, which is like set in
That's that one
world.
I'm waiting for. I'm really excited. for that one.
That's next year, I think. I'm pretty sure, or maybe it's 26. I don't know.
All right, so we got a Wednesday season 2. This is kind of a work in progress trailer. I don't think it's actually like a full on footage thing, but let's give it a shot, see what it looks like, because I'm kind of excited for season 2. So
There's some footage.
I love Wednesday.
Is there?
Hello, my little storm cloud.
Look, so this particular
It looks
stained
like
glass
Paige.
window right here. Oh God. Ooh, Pagey.
Wait, what?
You missed it. He said this looks like Pagey right here. This shot here. Do you wear your hair like that? Tie, vest?
No, I don't even know how he's rocking that hair. It looks like he's got something going on there. What's his name? Guzman, the actor? Whatever his name is?
Uh,
I know it's
forget.
Gomez is the character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know Gomez. Yeah. God, I can't remember his name.
Me either.
Hold on. I want to get it right so I don't get canceled. Oh, Luis Guzman. That's who it is.
Luis
Yeah.
Guzman, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
didn't he have some controversy recently?
Maybe he did, so maybe I shouldn't care about getting canceled then. Maybe
I-
that's okay if I don't.
There's so many people getting canceled. I can't keep track.
Yeah. And it's going to get to the point where we're not even going to know anymore.
Oh yeah, we have
So
to be like all actor stuff. Just
Yeah, all of them. Stuff. Well, I just talked about it earlier about the stuff with like actors from back in the day where you don't know. You know, I mean, Paige's favorite actor was in Beetlejuice 2. He got his head cut off or bit off by a shark. So,
oh,
don't try and flip a joke that I said yes last week or a couple of days ago to you. You're the one that was praising Diddy early in the stream.
No, that was you. This particular stained glass window, though, we did a copy, not a total copy of this, but a similar thing on a wall in the other room. I'll have to show you guys one night. Like we painted a motif on the wall. But we were inspired by this because I love this design. Here we go.
Let's play dolls. Welcome to the set of season 2.
By the way, I want to point out that Jenny was like the highlight of Beetlejuice 2 for me. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie or not, but she was.
I'm going
definitely the highlight for me.
Sunday. Stupid
She is amazing in that movie. She carries the whole movie pretty much.
Season 2.
Season 2 of Wednesday.
This season is going to be bigger and more twisted than you can ever imagine.
She looks amazing.
If we showed you any more, your eyes would bleed. And I'm not that generous.
When does this come out? Does it say here?
Okay, I think we got.
It's when is that, Darren? Sorry.
I don't think there's a date. It's just next year.
Oh, okay.
Probably
Oh,
Halloween.
well, there we go.
So they were like the first one around Halloween.
Yeah, I was really excited when she was in Beetlejuice because look, I've had my criticisms of Beetlejuice 2. I think there was a couple storylines that could have been subtracted to make the movie flow a little better, but it's making a lot of money at the box office, which pretty much guarantees we're going to get a third one at some point. But yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
When I went and got my haircut the other day, the barber was talking to me about it, and she was mentioning how.
Can we see the haircut?
So, what's just a.
I thought you were going to get the skullet.
What did you say?
You said you were going to get the skullet. What's that? You're just going to get.
No, I'm not. I always do it short on the sides and long on the top.
Okay, you've lied to everyone.
Nice.
I like to keep it nice and clean. So when I go,
Am I the only one that thought that Wednesday season 1 was like not very good, but General Taker was the only good part about it?
Yes.
I like Jenny. I think she's great. I hope she doesn't get
Jenny.
typecast, though.
What do you mean Jenny?
What?
What, do you know her or something?
Well, that's her name.
Jenna.
You're talking about Wednesday, right?
No, I'm talking about Louise Guzman. Like,
Oh God. Okay, whatever. We're gonna move on to the next trailer.
It is Jenna Ortega.
Yeah. I know.
I was confused at first, Joe. I was
Yeah.
like, wait, is there someone else?
All right. So the next thing we're going to look at is this is the final trailer for Transformers 1.
Oh. It's out now, right?
Yes.
Came out
came out today.
Yeah, it came
I
out
think.
today. Yeah.
So we're going to see this probably on Sunday as well. But there's what are we laughing at? I literally just said we're going to see the movie on Sunday, and you start laughing like there's something funny about
the chat.
that.
There goes Pagey with his mid reviews.
Oh, that's true though. I bet.
Well, lucky I'm not going to be able to partake in the Penguin and Agatha ones because there might have been some more mid reviews.
Eric with new hair equals human bebop from TMNT. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. 100%.
I was going to say he looks like the Twinkie from Sausage Party with that hair.
That show was awful, by the way.
It was.
I didn't watch I didn't realize the episode.
I didn't make it. I didn't make it beyond the first episode. I
think I watched.
Cut out of first.
I think I finished the third. I think I finished the third.
Yeah. So we're gonna watch this trailer, but I'm gonna see this weekend. And I'll
for a
probably
show
talk
about
Monday. So
talking food, there was a lot of human testicles in that first 3 episodes.
I think they wanted to be so edgy. They went to when you're like trying to be so edgy, you go too far and like you wrap back around to. Like,
it's a show made for like 15-year-olds. Like not like where you're like, well, I can't watch anything that's adult, but this seems adult.
So Serenity, I agree. I thought the movie was funny because it was like a self-contained thing. The TV show was just like.
Well, the movie's fine because it's like pretty standard. Just like, of course, there's food, swearing, and stuff, but it's like a decent concept until the last scene where there's a full-on orgy and stuff, and then it goes.
When we were watching it, okay. So we had some edibles. So we were
I
already
enjoyed
feeling
the
a certain
full-on
kind of
orgy.
way, right?
Yeah, of course you would, man.
We had some we had some edibles. We're like, we're not going to be able to watch this sober. I'm just saying. So we sit down and we watch it, and the first thing we start wondering is why are the cans of beans alive and not the individual beans? Because it's supposed to.
No,
be
that's
food.
a good point. Like
the bag of chips was alive, but not the individual chips.
Because the grains of rice were alive, but not the bag of rice.
Right. Why are the ingredients not alive? It just didn't make any sense. Like, we're like, okay, so we just have to accept that this entire thing just makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, we were looking for some sort of like tether to something, but it just, none of it made any sense to us.
We run into that problem with like Toy Story, where it's like, okay, so like what specifies each toy to its own?
Right.
Like,
yeah, you have to sort of let it go, I guess. All right, let's see what this trailer's got to offer because it looks beautiful. So let's see what we do with this.
Where's Optimus Prime?
The filthy red and blue bot? Yeah. Gives off a corroded metallic.
Oh, not to disrespect the Optimus Prime.
Oh, that is too far. Okay.
Oh God! Look at Lance. What the hell?
That's Spooder Man, whatever they call him, Spooder Man down there.
Oh, anyway.
You have the power to make your world better. But this fight is mine.
Okay, so he's a little intense.
Yeah, just a little.
Now is the time to stand together.
You know what? Someone said that this looks like the Transformers version of Spider-Verse. Like it looks like it's going to be very well received because the characters feel kind of like genuine.
yeah.
It's also on Cybertron, which makes it a little bit easier to sort of like connect with the characters because we've always met them as refugees. We've never really had a chance to meet them in a film from Cybertron. You know what I mean? So.
No, it's time to fight back.
Please don't do this.
You need to move out of my way before I move you myself.
I done made it through the work. 10 toes down, never touch me in the dirt. Supercharged and it don't quit. Feel like us against the world, we gon' take the risk.
All that counts is the strength of one bot over another.
Starscream, Soundwave.
Look me in my eyes and tell me what I'm supposed to be. I never want to tell anybody chose me.
Until next time, legends.
Transformers transforming bots in the sky. We won't stand for defeat.
All right. let's go back here a little bit. All right, so how are we feeling about this one? I mean, I'm going to see it Sunday. You guys planning on seeing this at all or no?
Yeah. No, I will not be. And I just realized you're using fucking Joe Blow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for it because I'm excited to hear Chris Hemsworth do his best Peter Cullen impression by the end of the movie. So,
I mean, I'm going into this one having never seen the Transformers project.
Oh, sorry.
Well, you've never seen the Michael Bay.
You've never seen the Michael Bay movies or anything?
No movies, no TV shows.
Well, he is young. When these
I'm
movies
not that.
came out,
Hold on, I'm not
he was
that.
young.
Hold on.
When the first one came out, he didn't even know how to say Shia LaBeouf.
First one came out, I was like in first grade, so I do remember.
I've only seen the first two, I think.
I will say this:
like, yeah, no, not for me.
After you see this, if you're going to watch any movie, I would suggest watching Bumblebee. I think Bumblebee is like the best one outside of this one.
The Bayverse still is canon. It's not really a new time. I wouldn't.
Oh,
say
you're talking about this comment here?
Yeah.
Well, isn't he producers? Isn't he still a producer on all the Transformers movies?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest.
Lucy was like the continuity.
Yeah,
it's like it's kind of, but not really.
Well, I think it's because there's some sort of time travel involved with it too, so that makes it a little weird. But I'll say the fighting in this particular movie did look very Michael Bay-ish. So, you know,
I've heard it's just good. Like I've heard it compared to Spider-Verse and Mutant Mayhem and stuff like that.
RC has no boobs. Woke DEI. Sweet Baby Inc. The message. Yeah, I mean, the whole arguments about like the gender on robots is so weird to me. It's always so weird, and just in general. All right, so let's see. What's the next trailer? There's so many of them. I think we're winding down. All right, we have one more. Then we're going to do Superman and Lois. But I did want to answer a couple of these super chat. Well, actually, there's one super chat not related to Penguin, which we'll be getting to in a moment. Loading with $5 super chat. Speaking of Spider-Verse, I can't believe they turned down the Batman Beyond film, the animation picks or peak or whatever with this. I don't know what the issue with Batman Beyond is in general, because I feel like they keep just overlooking it, and it seems like it's such a good separate DC thing they could do and literally build a world around Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Just in general, because it's like the Spider-Verse films where you can use alternate versions of characters from the future that we don't necessarily see anywhere else. And pull from the cartoon. They had a lot of great characters from the cartoon as well. I know that a lot of people say the earlier seasons weren't as strong, but I liked I thought all of it was really good. Any theories on why we're not seeing anything with Batman Beyond, or why they didn't want to work with it?
Well,
James Gunn, yeah.
No, 100%. Because I think I talked about this with Lance the other day on the pipeline. This movie was pitched when James Gunn was coming in. They were trying to rebrand everything, and like, I don't know why they would like at the start of that be like, okay, we're going to jump to this. I think this is going to be a thing once they get DC established, once they have their brand in order, once they know, okay, this is what we're doing with the Elseworld set of movies. I know that they're in Constantine too and stuff like that, but like, I feel like then they should repitch it and be like, okay, you have your stuff in order. You know what the DCU is first. Now let me give you this idea. Now let me show you this. But I mean, at the same time, you also have that like dinosaur movie they're working on, so maybe that's not a good excuse.
Right, possibly. All right, we have the super chats banked and the member chats banked for the major discussions here in a moment about the shows, because I think we're not going to spend a ton of time, but I do want to give my thoughts on the episodes and talk about a few things in them. So we will get to those, but let's get through these last bits of trailers here. So this one is another Joker trailer. I don't know how I feel about this movie, honestly, but anyway, let's the more I hear about this, the more I'm concerned, but let's give it a watch.
They released another trailer for this? Jesus Christ.
You should see it out there. They're all going crazy for you.
I think they did look, I don't want to be conspiracy theory about this, but I think they did this because they saw the early projections were so low that they tried to recut a trailer. So I think this trailer was recut to replace the trailer that they just put out like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, maybe.
So
you should see it out there. They're all going crazy for you. They're saying you're a bad influence on me. Well, guess what?
That's life. Funny as it seems.
Page.
What was that? What?
Did you just notice the picture?
Yeah.
You were like tranced out. You were like staring into the nether realm, and I thought, let me snap this. And you stayed in that position for like 2 minutes.
Oh no, that's too funny. Oh my god. Anyway,
I do look hot in that picture though. So, Paige,
do you
keep that, put it under your pillow at night.
The confidence levels. Let's go. Let's go.
Do they use pillows in Australia?
No, we use like kangaroo intestine, like blown up.
Hey, can you say no again real quick?
No.
Y'all really do say ner.
What? No.
Ner.
Lance is walking a thin line.
I know. He's like
ner.
I don't hear it.
Let's get to this.
I'm sleepy. I'm sorry.
By the way, a lot of people are saying going back to this scene proves that the movie doesn't have anything new to say. Do you guys agree with that? Because they're saying that this is like a emotional grab for no reason. Like going back.
Well, no, like finger pointing. Like, oh, look, there it is.
I can't wait for the edits to where they make the fall back downstairs.
That sounds dark, but
it's coming.
Darren, what do you think about this? Does it seem?
I mean, I feel like every sequel has that. Like every sequel has like, oh yeah, that's the part. Like what's like Lion King? Like every Lion King sequel goes back to Pride Rock. Like it's I don't know.
Every Lion King sequel goes back to Mufasa's death.
Yeah, I don't. That's a nitpick. I feel like I don't know.
You are no different than any of those people that underestimated me.
Also, don't do this to yourself. It isn't you.
It isn't me. So you don't think this is me? Well, maybe you don't know who I really was.
Arthur Fleck is a monster. And his depraved acts led to riots all over the country.
The way he runs is hilarious.
Well, he is the Joker. He's supposed to laugh.
I am free.
So so this quote right here, I have seen so many people roasting Discussing Film over this because they're like, the Joker is not an anti-hero.
Yeah, he's not an anti-hero.
Guess who wrote the quote?
Please don't tell me it was Ben.
It was Ben.
Was it really?
Yeah, he was the one that wrote the review for Discussing Film.
Holy shit.
No, that's embarrassing.
He got it on the trailer, though. They used it.
Yeah, but they didn't write Ben Rolfe. They were discussing film. Zero clout to be had.
They should have put the DC TV show. That would have been great.
Well, I'm surprised because usually, like, if they do like an outlet like Discussing Film or like some of those other ones, they usually put the author or the reviewer, and then they say in brackets. So I don't know, but then you have to. I think you have to get clearance for your quote. I think so. Maybe Discussing Film was like, "F Ben, we'll take it."
Wow.
I mean, I wonder if it. I mean, I guess we can't roast them until we know the movie. Like maybe they do take an anti-hero route with it.
But how would that even? So my question is, how would that work in the movie? Like, how would he be an anti-hero in a movie where he's on trial for committing acts of violence? Like, I don't understand how that even works to me. I mean, you might be right. You might be right. But
they could, they could take that approach where like, oh, he's actually the hero. But that's the criticism that the first movie got, is that they were like heroizing a murderer and a psychopath. Was they were like celebrating the violence. So if they do go that route, they're just digging that hole even deeper.
Well, I would say this: yes, Harley is, but this version of the Joker, specifically in this world they've created, is not an anti-hero. At least not by the end of the first movie. I know they tried, but it was very. I don't know. It's a tough sell for me. Let's see where this goes.
I am free.
Spoiler.
Everything's gonna work out. You're Joker.
Uh-oh. I'm in trouble.
We're gonna build him out.
So, okay, I just want to say, this is probably not going to be popular because people are going to hate to hear me say this, but I would love to just get away from some of these characters. I just, anything to give us, like, the one thing I have to give credit about, like, what James Gunn is doing is I think there's a potential to see some characters from the comics that we haven't seen before. I am so completely burned out on Batman stuff. I was actually glad the Penguin was as good as it was, because before we even get to it, I'll talk about my thoughts on that. But just in general, Batman stuff to me is just, I'm so, like, it's Harley and Joker and just, it's just the same stuff over and over and over again. I understand it's a unique take, but I didn't see anything in this trailer that makes me go, wow, this could be exciting. I mean, it feels like it's going to be a rehash of the first movie through a court trial with musical numbers. And I just don't know.
That's fair.
Maybe it is amazing. Maybe all of these quotes are right, but I have a really high bar for Batman stuff, especially Joker stuff, because of the first movie.
This is the year that's kind of known as like the dry spell for DC. And yet we still have Caped Crusader, Joker, Penguin, Harley Quinn Season 5, Kite Man, which is kind of like Batman adjacent. Like, it's still majority Batman, which is kind of funny. I think it's going to be good, but I would
love this. Mr. Miracle movie or show would be great.
Yeah.
It's something different. I think what I've loved about a lot of these different things we're getting is like, so X-Men 97, we have gone so long without those characters being in our faces that it felt great to have them back again. Same thing with Deadpool and Wolverine. It had been so long since we'd been on an adventure with those characters. It felt great again. DC needs to give us something other than this stuff, like
Creatures
over and
is
over
gonna
and
be
over.
fun.
Yeah.
Creatures is exactly.
I'm really
what
looking
we
forward to that now because I want something different. Like, I was like, after seeing this trailer, I want that. That's what I want. I want that. I want the Superman movie. I want to see what these things are going to be, because I feel like we're going to get 1 million Joker properties for the rest of our fucking life.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
I think that's what's fun about, like, the Batman being set in its own world now, because then I feel like that gives the DCU a chance to be like, okay, we have a Batman, but we're focusing on Booster Gold and Swamp Thing and creatures and, you know, like Supergirl and all these other characters.
I can't. I'm still going to watch it too, Christian. To be clear, I'm going to go see it, but I'm kind of exhausted. We talk about superhero or comic book fatigue. It's not that for me. It's character fatigue. I'm just tired of the same characters. And I know The Authority is a tough sell, but I was so happy to hear something other than what we've seen before. You know, it feels like we haven't had a Guardians of the Galaxy in forever. Forever. All right.
It was just last year.
No, I know, but I mean, I feel like that was the one thing. When I say that, I don't mean like specifically Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean like a franchise that feels fresh like that, like something that is new and different, and we just haven't had it, you know?
But that's the thing, is like when we get them, people don't like it. Like you said, the Eternals, that's like a Guardian type thing. People are like, no, we don't want this.
Yeah. God, man. It's rough. All right. This is the Superman and Lois trailer, and let's see, what quality is it in, because it's on Twitter. Oh, 482. That's it?
That's
is there a higher quality one?
It's nowhere on YouTube. I think they're trying to get people to go to the site. Is it?
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube before.
Oh,
let me look. Quick.
It wasn't earlier, though.
8 out or maybe like 9 hours.
All right, let me see if I can get a higher quality one. I don't want to do a 4.
Pagey already did his review of the trailer, and
8 hours ago, yeah. 15,
Oh, it's actually on the CW network. Okay.
Yeah, and I remember the thing where like they were blocking anyone.
Are they still blocking you or not?
No, I could get it. So they stopped it. I think they stopped it a while ago.
All right. Let's see.
DC is far from cooked. I hate that mindset.
I don't think that. I don't think they're cooked. I think there's still a possibility for them, but all right.
They're cooking.
This is from Joe Blow Trailers. Just
everybody pay attention to everything in this trailer.
Okay.
Everything in this trailer.
Here we go. Look at Tara's getting close. All right. Here we go.
You like it here in this small town?
Oh, moist.
The aw shucks in the apple pie. Makes you feel safe. Seems fake to me. Maybe being here will change my mind.
Ooh.
I'm not scared of you.
You will be.
I feel so bad for John and Jordan.
Holy
Their dad
shit.
just died.
The world without us protected.
I
can handle him.
You're not ready yet. You are not your
Hold on. Get rid of this fucking costume right now. I'm so tired of seeing this one. I don't care what it is at this point. These goggles look a hot fucking mess. They just
I don't mind the goggles. I think it's more like the speed skating suit. Like that's probably the.
Can we also point out that let it be known that episode 4 is apparently gonna be a Kyle and Chrissy episode.
I know.
Yeah.
And we're gonna hear a lot of, oh, that baby's coming right now.
Okay. Counter argument to this costume. I think it's supposed to be bad. Like I think he's
I agree.
That's why Lex is looking at him like, is this little boy standing here in a body
he's supposed to look stupid. Like, he's supposed to know what he's doing.
Lex is looking in the reflective thing in the mirror going, fuck, this beard's gotta go.
Oh, keep watching. That's all.
Yeah, here we go.
Lance, I've seen it.
You're not ready yet. You are not your father.
Out there.
That's American Lance after the show.
Have to pay for what they did.
You want to wipe out the whole town?
Yeah.
Is he wearing John Henry's suit?
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Now, my question is, did he beat John and then take the suit, or just walk in and say, hey, move?
My boy looks this is like a perfect Lex right here. This is literally the perfect Lex.
You gotta remember that John Henry's suit is Lex Luthor's suit.
Yeah.
It's like his material. So
That
how
is
do we know
true.
this Lex doesn't have
the
same thing? The only thing is that it looks exactly. Wait, hold on. We'll go to the thing. Does it have the little butterfly thing, the little insect?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see.
Because remember, John puts a little insect thing on his.
You want to wipe out the whole town?
I don't think so.
Can't
You can't see it.
It might be a new one.
You can't see it. Nah, you won't be able to tell.
Yeah.
Except
It's
this
like-
scene. This scene looks like objectively horrible, but I'm like.
Well, I don't think they're finished with the. I think this might have been done before they were completely finished.
But like this is Lex
silhouette. Fucking yes! This is exactly what I wanted. Okay.
This is Lex.
Let's keep going here. Holy shit!
Look, they have to pay for what they did.
You want to wipe out the whole town?
Dangerous business being a superhero.
Oh my god!
What is they doing to Lana from behind? Jesus!
Hold on. Yeah, what was happening there?
That's.
Was that Sam getting thrown in the grave?
I think so. Let's see.
Well, Throne's one way.
Okay.
Pause it. Oh, dang it! You missed it.
Where is it at? What are we talking about?
He's trying to be sus with Lana. Yeah.
What is this?
What do you think it is? Why don't you tell us what you're seeing?
This scene looks.
Why don't you tell us?
It's a bad frame. That's.
Yeah, well, you wanted me to pause it here.
Yeah,
now.
I'm gonna say, Lance,
take it in. Take it in, Lance. Take it in.
I mean, who do you think that is? Or maybe just Lex's guy?
Apparently from the synopsis I, if it's more than one synopsis, it's a synopsis I. That's a thing. Apparently, Sarah and Lana try to help somehow. I don't know. I guess it's after Sarah goes and gets her bangs after Clark is like dropped dead in Smallville. She says, "Let me go get a haircut." I guess it's after that they try to help. So maybe this is like Lex sending his goons, like, go. I think
it might just be one of these guys with like a black mask on or something.
Yeah,
probably.
His goons.
Those are cool weapons.
I like the Lex logo in the background though.
Yeah, is this signaling Green Lantern? Is that what this is?
John Diggle, let's go.
All I'm gonna say is Bam Smack Power is gonna have an article talking about this when the episode comes out.
Yeah.
They're gonna try to fight Doomsday.
I was gonna say this is ass whipping incoming right here. Like the two of them.
They're finally gonna go back to John having brain trauma. I bet after a whole season of not.
How much do you bet? How much do you bet they break the suits again? We don't have
my god! Oh my god! Well, Lex will have that one for sure.
Yeah, maybe.
He left something for all of you.
This is how we save Dad.
Superman and Lois. 2 hour.
Not the grayscale. Oh my god! This is.
I wonder what his new suit's going. Apparently, if you zoom in on the poster, he's in the new suit.
Yeah,
it looks like it. Like he has. It looks like he has the trunks. So, yeah. Paigey, how long do you think? I saw your video, by the way. Huge fan. Your video.
I didn't do a fucking video on this shit.
Your video was amazing. Talking about the like you were talking about how you think Doomsday is gonna be around for a very, very.
Oh yeah,
long
I predicted that, and everyone was like, "No, that's not the case." And then he's in the fucking trail, and they're fighting him. So, common Paxtradamus victory. But anyway,
how do you feel about Doomsday sticking around? It doesn't look like he's evolved anymore, but
yeah, but then I don't know. Was that because wasn't the zoom up of him like going Wasn't that him in like a Superman fight scene or something? So I don't know. Maybe he might. I don't know if he'll evolve that much because he was starting to look very, very much like comic Doomsday, even in that clip from Comic-Con.
do you think they could ever revert him back to just regular Bizarro?
No, I think that's
no.
I think he's done, so.
I do wonder how they're gonna heal Superman. I don't know. Do they need specifically Doomsday, or they just need something from Doomsday?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sure. Okay, so this is the lightning round. We got some rumors we're going to go through, and then we're jumping right into the Penguin and Agatha stuff. Mark Wade talks about James Gunn's Superman. Snyder fans are mad about this. Let me tell you why. He goes, I got a good feeling about this movie. I mean, I like James Gunn. I think that his reverential approach by and large this kind of stuff, and the reverential without taking it too seriously. I mean, the movie has a dog in it, a superpowered dog with heat vision, so you know it's not any Zack Snyder. Oof. Oof.
Yeah, he's always been open about like not like really liking Snyder's take on Superman, which is correct. And you're an L, Eric, for liking Man of Steel. But I mean, yeah, like I'm not too surprised. I mean, if you're a Superman fan, you probably realize that what Snyder was doing. It doesn't mean you have to dislike the movie. You just have to accept that. Yeah, that's not really Superman. That's definitely an alternate, very alternate take on Superman. The funny thing is that now all the people that have decided to be DCU shills, aka James Gunn bum sniffers, Mark Wade used to also heavily praise The Flash in regards to its accuracy to the comics. So
the movie or show?
The
show.
Yeah.
Like whenever there was a thing from the show, he'd always like go, "Oh yeah, that's awesome."
Silver animator. Yeah. Oh wait, go ahead, Paige. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say like yeah, but it was also because he was like a Wally West guy really as well. So.
Look at the part where Lex is looking out the red filtered window. You see newspaper clippings of Lex's daughter, Lizzie, and it looks like Jenna Simmons, actress, playing her. Wow.
Oh, really?
Oh, because I saw that, and I was trying to figure out what it was saying, because I wasn't too sure if it said Lane. I thought it was just like instead of writing Lois Lane, it just started writing Lane, because I saw another word starting with L. I was like, what is that? But I do like the fact that he's got newspaper clippings on Lois Lane, just like how Lois and Clark had newspaper clippings of him last season, just in the same way.
Do you think we'll ever hear that writers want to do with the potential seasons 5, 6, and 7 of Superman and Lois, kind of like what Eric Wallace did for season 10 of The Flash? I mean, I assume they'll probably do post interviews when the show ends, like to talk about the show. And one of the favorite things for reporters is to ask what they would have done with future seasons. So I'm pretty sure they will get around to asking those
whether
questions.
It's a detailed thing or just like, oh yeah, season 5 would have been this, season 6 this, season 7 this, or something.
All right.
It's always funny because I feel like they can just say whatever they want. They could be like,
the funniest tweet I saw was it was, when was it? It was before this trailer came out, so it must have been another thing for Superman and Lois came out. It might have been like something like a poster or something, but it was like, James Gunn, your Superman movie better be fucking worth it. That was the tweet. It had like over 1,000 likes as well. It was like I was like, thought that's pretty funny.
Oh,
but
that's a good question.
Well.
Do you think Crypto is going to talk like Rocket Raccoon?
No, I think James Gunn would make it more like, I think that just treat it like Groot, where they go Groot, I'm Groot, but so that's a dog barking, going woof woof.
Also, going back to that, why people are going around saying, "Oh my God, Crypto confirmed"? It's been confirmed because what the hell was Mr. Terrific dropping dog treats for?
Well, it wasn't even that. Like
an
James
invisible
Gunn,
squirrel.
Well, James Gunn said it ages ago that he was going to do crypto, and everyone thought he was joking. But like, no, he's saying that they're going to do crypto. But it's like, why is crypto a spoiler? Like, crypto doesn't go, "Oh my god, that means they're doing this storyline." It's just like it's a fucking dog.
Wait, so does Geek Drums have pink clothes? Because he's still got the page. He's still got the same.
Oh well, when I say clothes, that also includes underwear. So yeah,
okay, all right, got it. So
yeah,
there we go. Lance, you want to confirm or deny anything?
I can neither confirm nor deny, but I do like a little lace. If
I was going to say they're frilly. He's got frilly.
Hashtag Geek Drums DeMaio updates. So,
hashtag pink J
Hey,
string.
how come every article about him has him in his underwear?
We've talked about that earlier. Like it's like he doesn't own any clothes.
I think it's because there's not many photos of him with a shirt.
Right,
So
that's true. Right. Okay, quickly, here's the rumors from Daniel RPK. The Disney Plus Nova series will reportedly explore the Nova Corps in space. It won't only be focused on Richard Rider. I mean, okay. I keep hearing conflicting stories about this series, so I don't know what's true and what's not true. I don't really have an issue with.
Is this even confirmed yet? Like
Kevin Feige.
Well, no, that's why I said it's rumors. So
I mean, Kevin Feige did confirm it recently. He said they are working on it, but it's several years away. But I was like, so why
you mean the
anything?
series? Yes.
Yeah. Like I don't know why
I heard they were
casting
casting Darren.
Oh yeah, totally. Everyone wants to see that.
Marvel Studios and Sony are reportedly working on a new deal that will allow Tom Holland's Spider-Man to appear in more MCU films. Kevin Feige will still be in charge of the Spider-Man films. This sounds like a no-brainer. I mean, literally because they're doing.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and then said it again for what?
Well, because I think they were looking for stuff to post or whatever. But either way, I mean, we know he's going to be in Doomsday and Secret Wars, so we know that's going to happen, and we know there's a fourth Spider-Man movie coming out. So, like, I was like, all right, this one's interesting. Kelvin Hardison Jr. is rumored to be the one name being considered for Jon Stewart and Lanterns,
aka Scar and Martin Luther King.
So, what do we think of this casting? If this is true, is this good or bad? I feel like this is better than the Josh Brolin, Hal Jordan rumor.
Did he play Martin Luther King?
Yeah, he played him in the history. Fun fact: the young actor that's also playing the new Mufasa played Malcolm X in that same movie.
Oh, okay. I've only seen him in Elvis. He played B.B. King.
I mean, he seems like the good like popularity level where he's obviously been in things, people know him, but like if you went on the street, I don't know, people would be like, yeah, I know this actor.
And
or
I think
showed a picture,
right. Well, I think this is this is the kind of casting I would expect for these kinds of shows, because you want to elevate like these stars that are right there and they're ready to break in.
Well,
sort of like what Marvel did with a lot of their projects prior to like the big casting.
Like Silhouette Animated puts it there, and they said like Aaron Pierre. Like I know people saying Aaron Pierre, but I think Jon Stewart should look. I know it sounds weird, but very like normal. Does that say like not? They don't have anything like unique features. Like he's in the military and stuff. He'd fit in and everything like that. He doesn't stand out if he's just walking along, whether it's with other soldiers or people in the military or just by himself on the street or whatever it is. Well, Aaron Pierre has like very distinct features. So I think with like I think suits like Kelvin Harrison Jr. suits Jon Stewart more than that Aaron Pierre guy. Though I think that Aaron Pierre guy would be really good as like Martian Manhunter because he's got distinct features, and I think that's what you need if you play Martian Manhunter. If you play the human version, of course. If they do the human version.
Right. We have a late arrival. Almost
Lance,
2 hours into the stream.
You're copying my photo again.
We have 3Dub in the house who's arrived at
How's it
almost
going?
the 2 hour mark.
Wait, why is Darren canceling the Grinch? Why has he got the X on the Grinch?
Fun fact: Darren does not like Jim Carrey. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Where are you, Christmas?
He basically does it for me because I liked the Grinch.
Oh no, not the battles of the Grinches here.
How can I find you?
3Dub, did you see this casting rumor?
No. I just woke up.
Oh, okay. Well, I think this is a good casting rumor. I like this. This is a thumbs up for me. I think this is good. All right. We are going to be talking about the next 2 rumors are about both Agatha and the Penguin.
It's actually pronounced Agatha.
Now, 3Dub, have you watched Agatha or the Penguin?
No, but I don't care for spoilers.
Okay. As long as you don't care about spoilers, that's what I was gonna say. So Aubrey Plaza will reportedly appear in more MCU projects after Agatha all along. So she's playing a character called Rio Vidal in Agatha, which is supposedly going to be a secret, like a mystery. We'll talk more about that in a moment about who she could possibly be. But I think she made a really big splash in the first 2 episodes. So I suspect they really were happy with what she did in the series. And if she's one of the like rumored characters that people think she's going to be, other than the one she's called in the show, I can see her being in more projects. And I love her, so you can bring her back as many times as you want. I think she's great. But we'll see. Here's the big one. Colin Farrell. This was the title of the video. We're getting into it 2 hours into the stream.
I did see this one.
Colin Farrell says he wore a penguin penis as part of his costume for the Penguin. It's detachable. It's Velcro. It's got a beak at the end of it. So I had a penguin penis. Let's think about this for a second. So in the article,
I'm gonna look that up.
There's no so it's a People article, so it's a legit.
Wait,
article.
so are they saying that he wore a penis in the shape of a penguin, or like a penis prosthetic that what an actual penguin would have?
No, it's a penis prosthetic that looks like it has a beak of a penguin on it, is what he's saying.
I love how he can have a penis beak, but he can't be called Oswald.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That was what I was going to say. Like the fact that was approved for him to wear on set, but he couldn't have the name Oswald Cobblepot is a little sus to me. Now, he did say in the article that there was no scene where this was going to be visible, or it wasn't any like real reason to have it, but they wanted him to feel very connected to the character. Yeah. So he wore it under his costume in every scene, apparently.
The funny thing, and no one would know unless he didn't like talk about it.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to Superman next year.
When I saw this, I was like, wait a minute, is this for real? And I followed the article. I was like, yeah, it's a real quote.
You think David Cornsweet wore a little cape around his penis or something while he filmed Superman?
Maybe.
I heard he had a super one down there. It's too big for the cape to fit.
The cape? He's on his back or something. What's going on? On his neck.
Oh no! Oh my god!
I mean, here's the thing. Like, he could just say this. Like, he could have done none of this, and he was just like, "Yeah, I did this on set."
Yeah,
like,
right. Colin Farrell does have like a sex tape out there, so he's probably pretty open about it. So he probably doesn't care too much.
Yeah. What's funny is, didn't we have like didn't Lance
draft of Stream Activity, Lance?
Didn't Lance and Paige have a conversation about like this subject?
Yeah, but that was like decapitated penis.
Let's not talk about that. Don't bring it back up. I'm talking over top of you because that got my channel in trouble.
John Bobbitt.
Yeah. But this is about a removable one, a Velcro one, so it's a different situation completely.
I wonder how many times it came off in the suit, though.
Oh no. No. I was trying to see. There was actually a quote from another interview where he talked about it a bit more. But here's my thing. Imagine you're working with him on set and you know that this exists. You know that he's wearing this thing every time you're talking to him on set. Like,
I mean,
to be fair, probably got more disgusting things going on, like the face. Like,
have we ever seen the bodysuit without the clothing on it? Like, do we know what it looks like? Is it a full?
I think in the
Batman.
Batman, I think the Batman special features have it, like the fat suit he sort of.
How far does it come down? Is it all the way down, or is it just like cut off?
I think it's like a big thing he steps into because I think his legs and his ass are like bigger and stuff. So then it's like one of those ones where he steps. Like, I don't even know how you describe it, but it's just
that's got to be hot as fuck to wear all day long. I can't imagine.
But I think a lot of them now have like internal fans. Like, it's almost like a mini air conditioning system in them. Like, I think a lot of like the heavier, like I think Robert Downey Jr. Oh no, was it Robert Downey Jr.? It was someone that had to wear, it might have been like the girl from Ironheart or something when she had to wear the actual suit. Like the actual thing's got like a mini aircon thing that regulates the temperature. Wait, he's actually naked in it and he looks hairy? Wait, he looks hairy or he is hairy?
Yeah. I wanted to see like the actual, like, I didn't know if that, so my thing is in the episode, I didn't know if that was like a stunt double or like a VFX thing. I didn't know if that was actually the suit. So I was trying to see if there was a version of that. Well, because they could. I mean, I was trying to see if there was if it was an actual real thing, or if it was like a stunt double with his head put on the body or something.
I literally thought Lance was asleep for a second.
Well, look at Paige's avatar. So there we go.
I'm sleepy, so I'm zoning.
All right, so we're gonna get into the shows now, and I know that 3Dub doesn't care about them, and Paigey doesn't really care about them.
No, I'll be going because I want you to spoil shit. So I'll see you whenever.
Okay.
Wait, closing statement.
Yeah.
If anything, if this stream has taught us anything, don't let public events stop you from listening to what you want. If you want to listen to Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit, don't let 9/11 stop you. If you're into Benny and the Jets, just let it fly.
Oh my God. There we go. All right. So we're going to be talking about both Penguin and Agatha all along. We will be talking spoilers, but I'm not going to tell like in the entire storylines of each episode. I just want to talk about specific things and give my thoughts on them. I know 3Dub doesn't care. Lance, have you seen these episodes yet?
I've seen only part of episode 1 of Agatha, so I'm gonna cut out too, so I don't.
Okay.
And I have not seen Penguin yet. So.
Well, then get out. Like, what are you doing? So get some sleep.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
That's why I saved it for the end. Okay. All right. So with that being said, we have some super chats over here. We're gonna start out. Actually, Silhouetted had something here about Superman and Lois. Let's do that before we do this. $5 super chat regarding Superman and Lois reaction to the newest trailer. Also, I think the only way off Doomsday is to fly him into the antimatter inverse portal. So I didn't give my thoughts on it totally, but I think it was very obvious that I loved the trailer. I thought it's a really strong trailer for the season. It did look like some of the VFX were not finished, or it could have just been the way it was shot for the trailer. But I'm excited for it. I'm so sad that this is literally the last DC TV show we're going to get on regular television.
Yeah.
And it also makes me sad to know that this is, even though it wasn't directly connected, this is kind of the end of the Arrowverse in a way, because it was this character came from the Arrowverse, so it is adjacent to the Arrowverse. And I know some people would argue that it is the Arrowverse. Either way, for me, it is kind of the end of all of that.
Yeah.
So it is sort of bittersweet for me.
I am kind of like happy that my theory of him actually being dead is right. Because, you can't have a dead Superman without him being dead.
I said I didn't think he was going to actually die. So, but I mean, I know you want to move on here, but like, I just love all the work they're putting into this final season. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't remember the last time probably since Crisis that they marketed a DC CW thing like this. Like, there's been photos, there's been interviews, there's been 2 separate trailers, there's been 2 separate posters. Like, they're treating it like any other like network show, even more. Like, you don't see this kind of stuff for like, I don't know, like a Modern Family or anything. Like,
do you think that they're doing this because they know that they want to keep Superman really popular leading into the Superman movie?
That makes sense. If they were like, hey, because you had My Adventures last year and they really marketed that second season.
And now Superman and Lois this year.
And look, I don't know if you saw the thing, but like it's rumored that they're going to be pushing the marketing for Superman, and they're going to be marketing it as the Summer of Superman. And it's like marketing, it's going to be similar to Barbie. And I was like, yeah, so they could, which is smart. They do really need to be marketing this universe. So
I think it would be really cool. I know they'll never do it, but could you imagine if we got like a sort of like Fantastic Four and Superman like team up with like advertising? Cool. Because they're both very classic team and classic characters. So
I wonder if they get like an or like an ad with like David Cornsweet and Tyler like towards the end of the season, where it's like, well, if you like Superman and Lois this summer, check out Superman in theaters or whatever. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
What would kind of like make me like really laugh is actually them like doing like a antimatter thing just to wipe it out. Like basically we're done with the Arrowverse.
No.
Wipe it all out.
We were talking about it last week, but the last stream about Stephen Amell's comments. And regardless of whether or not you like him, I think it is true that the Arrowverse, again, it was its own separate thing that we could enjoy, where everyone felt like they were part of the community. Like the movies are a thing, but like we all sort of came together because of the Arrowverse. Like everybody, all you guys watching us right now, at least the ones that have been here for a while, both of you guys on the chat here, including Lance and Paigey, it like that brought together our entire group as a fandom, and it really built this community. And if it weren't for that, most of us would not even be making videos. We wouldn't be doing content on YouTube. So
we
it's kind of
met you.
Yeah, I mean, like to be clear here, like it meant a lot to a lot of people. And I know that sounds really sappy, and it probably people are like, well, fuck this guy because this sounds sappy. But the reality is, no, it did. And I will always look back at it and think fondly of it, even when I know it wasn't perfect, because I think it's even more rewarding to love something that isn't perfect, because then you get those moments where you have to question whether or not you love it. Like, do you truly love something to the point where if it has a stumble in the road, if it does something that you don't like, and you can still come back to it and say you love it, then that means it's a real thing. If you turn away from something the minute you find a little imperfection in it, then that makes me question whether you actually love the thing or not. So
yeah,
that's how I feel about it. Sorry, get off my soapbox there. So let's talk about, and 3Dub, feel free to ask questions if you'd like. Let's start out talking about Agatha All Along. We'll start with that one first. Episodes 1 and 2 that both dropped. I've seen a lot of negative criticism about the series. I've seen a lot of people talking shitty about it, but I've also seen an overwhelmingly amount of positive conversations about Agatha in the fandom that I hadn't seen before. I love Catherine Hahn, obviously Aubrey Plaza, and Joe Locke as the teen character did a really good job. There was a lot of great things about these 2 episodes that I thought were really exciting. Now, I want to be clear here, even with spoilers, there isn't a lot to tell because the mystery is still very early in the show. So for me, watching Agatha in that first episode sort of deal with all of the repercussions of what happened with Wanda, because it really does sort of feel like a direct sequel to WandaVision. Obviously Scarlet Witch is not around, but you start out in this weird world where she's a detective and it seems like a different type of show altogether. And then little fractures start to happen in her world. And you see characters from WandaVision, you know, playing new roles and things like that. I thought it was really, really strong. And the vibe is right. I don't know how to explain it, but the vibe is right with the show. Darren, what was your opinion? Because we're going to do episode 1, then we'll talk about episode 2. What was your opinion of that first episode, of how like all of it went down?
I was immediately really impressed with it because I went in with very tempered expectations. This is obviously under the era of these 6-episode events. You know, it's kind of made along, you know, those, and instantly it feels different than any Disney Plus show we've had so far. It feels like a show you'd find on ABC or like NBC. What I love is they are obviously given a slightly longer runtime than a lot of these others. What I loved about the first episode is they really let it breathe. They were really letting, like, obviously Agnes, like, if you will, is trapped in this world, and we live in that world. We get we see her job, we see her home.
We even get a title card for this world.
A whole intro, and they let you sit in that world, and it's like, this is so refreshing. This is something you would have seen like in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Daredevil and stuff like that. And to me, it's a show that, like, it's not going to be for everyone. And I feel like if you watch that trailer and you're like, I'm not sure, then it may not be for you. But if you did, like, I feel like it brings something unique. It brings something creative. They're clearly just having fun. It's not like directly connected to the mainstream Avengers movies and stuff like that. So it's kind of like living in their own little corner. And they're like, okay, we have this story we're going to tell, and we're going to tell it. And so far, I'm really enjoying it.
I've also seen
Spotlight.
What is that?
Is it a Spotlight?
No, it isn't.
No,
Although I'm kind of shocked it's not.
Because it is a 1-season show, I think. So that is kind of interesting. But I think the reason why is because they anticipate these characters moving on into other properties. Whereas I think with Echo, they didn't. I don't think. I'd like to see Echo and other stuff, but I don't know for sure if they're going to use Echo somewhere else.
What I found was also interesting is, well, obviously this was the first thing under Marvel Television, under the new Marvel Television branding, I'm pretty sure. Unless Echo was, I'm pretty sure this was the first. This is also the first MCU project that didn't have the intro, like the big Marvel intro, which I was like, oh, I kind of like that, because I actually do wish they would save that for like the mainstream movies, because I feel like if you do that for every episode, it gets a little dry. But I thought that was kind of interesting.
We have.
I always thought
go ahead,
like
Threw.
you could do the intro, the Marvel intro for the
Mm-hmm.
TV shows, bringing like all the TV shows into.
I
the
would
intro.
prefer that if they did a Marvel intro. If they had one specific to the TV shows, I think that would be really
that'd be
cool. Okay, so we meet the character of the teen at the end of the first episode. This is when, I guess, not really the end, the third act of the episode, where Agnes is still dealing with the trauma of this world that she's in, and the character is breaking into her house, where we see that something happened there with, I guess, her child. Is that what it's like supposedly her kid? Nicholas Scratch is shown in the bedroom, and they talk about sacrificing children and stuff like this. So it's a very dark story. But this character breaks in. We find out that it is the character named Teen, which everybody expects is going to be Billy Wiccan, which I feel like we could still go a different direction, but we'll just kind of, we'll talk about that in a second. It immediately fell in love with this character. I love this character. The character is a queer character. I'm presuming going to be gay on the series, based on what we find out later on after they we'll talk about that in a second. But presuming that's what's going to happen with this character. And it isn't over the top. It's not something that's like in your face. It's just this queer character existing. And I think that's a really important way to do it on the show. Anyway, with Naruto's comment here, who do you think the unnamed companion is in Agatha? And I'm going to say a lot of people believe it could be Agatha's actual son. I don't think that's the case. I think that might be the red herring for casual viewers. I actually think, based on some of the screenshots we've seen and some of the stuff from the promotional materials, that if it is not Billy, if it's not Wiccan, then they're going to piss a lot of people off because they're really pushing that it is that character. And I don't want a negative reaction to the show because I think the show started out very strongly. So
I actually think a lot of people would be happy about it because there's a lot of controversy with the casting.
There is
of the character,
100%.
And I agree. I think it's hard because obviously I see the controversy as okay, I can see why this might be problematic for people. Like me not knowing the character from the comics, and just on a base level, I really enjoyed that character. I think that actor and Han had amazing chemistry. Their back and forth was incredible.
So do you think that it's him, or you think that's too controversial? With that,
I think I do think it's Billy. I think we've known that for a while. It's just but honestly, what I'm more curious about is I don't care too much who it is at the moment. I'm more curious of why he can't talk. I'm curious what that mystery is
and how he even knew to come looking for Agatha as Agnes. How did he even know that? So it does feel a little weird at the moment. But thank you for the member chat there. We have Silhouette Animator with her $2 super chat. Agatha gives me the same vibes of the Discworld books. I'm not familiar with Discworld books. Let me see what that is. Let's see. Discworld books. So it is a book series written by Terry Pratchett, set in Discworld, a flat planet balanced on the back of 4 elephants, which in turn stand on the back of a giant turtle. So
it reminds me of PG-13 Sabrina.
Yes.
That they did over at Netflix. It feels that vibe is the teenage drama, but without all the demon, all the devil worship and stuff like that. So
yeah, I don't think they're going to go too far into that because I think the idea of hell and Satan and stuff in the MCU is very different from what we saw in Sabrina. This freaking bug, get away from me. I haven't had a bug in my house in ages. We had a party. It is bugging me. We had a little party tonight with some friends over, and we did an In-N-Out for the to eat outside because the weather's nice. And I'm pretty sure several little bugs got in, so now I'm annoyed by them. And so we have Aubrey Plaza's character as Rio, and a lot of people think that's a red herring as well. That's not going to be the final name for the character. And Silhouette Animator here with another $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, thoughts on the theory that Plaza is Blackheart. Now, they talk about this because of the Black Heart written on the card when they start putting together the coven. Yeah. And that she talks about her heart being black, and they're thinking all of this is kind of connected together. What are your thoughts on this? Because Blackheart is not... I don't think that's the right connection. I think it could be a nod to Blackheart, but I don't think she's going to be the actual character of Blackheart.
I don't know the character Blackheart, so I can't speak on that. But I definitely think the name on the card that she's not getting is Aubrey Plaza's character. And I also think the old neighbor is Aubrey Plaza in disguise, and that's why the portal worked. So I think I forget her name, but the old woman from that 70s.
Oh, you're talking about Sharon?
Yeah, Sharon. I think
name. Yeah.
I think Sharon is Rio in disguise, and that's why the road worked.
So Blackheart, I was going to pull up the thing here, but this is not a good page. But anyway, Blackheart is a demon and a ruler of a portion of hell, and let me show. I guess I'll pull this up so we can see it.
Isn't there a thing where they can't do demons because of certain
Yeah, I don't know if they would make Blackheart an actual demon, but this is the character that they would be referencing here. And I believe that artwork is by Joe Romita, maybe Joe Romita Jr. It's really good. Anyway, a lot of connections there. There's what the character looks like normally. But my only issue with that is it didn't seem like the character when Rio went to confront Agatha didn't seem any more powerful than any other witch, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like she seemed like she expected them to be at the same power level,
and
they kind of knew each other. So I don't know. Maybe it's a red herring. I'm not sure, but I do know that the Blackheart reference could be referencing another character in the series, and Blackheart could be in the series, but I don't know if Blackheart is going to be an actual demon.
It could also just be a reference. It
could be a reference, like an Easter egg.
Yeah.
Something like that. So one of the other controversies I see in that people talk about in the first episode is when she finally breaks out and she doesn't have any clothes on and she runs outside and they're like, how is this even allowed in a Disney Plus series? And I'm like, well, first of all, she wasn't really naked outside. I'm pretty sure they shot that on a controlled stage and only a couple people were there when it was on set with it. That's why it's called TV magic and movie magic. I'm pretty sure that was the case, but
the commentary on that really pissed me off because for one, it's TV-14. It's not a PG-13 show. And this is what you were asking for. You were asking Marvel, aim for a different demo. Get a little dark, get a little serious. This is what you wanted from Daredevil. You didn't want Daredevil just to be the same kind of slapstick MCU that we got. This is it. This is a darker MCU.
But because this show is a diverse show, it's got a different criteria for them. You know what I mean? They definitely want to criticize it for everything because they can't find anything to complain about. There's no real thing to complain about, especially after the first 2 episodes. I'll be honest here, there wasn't anything egregiously awful in the first 2 episodes that they could really do anything about. There wasn't an overtly gay character. There wasn't any women, girl power type stuff that was out of the ordinary. We're talking about a coven of witches. So there really wasn't anything to complain about. So they're kind of grasping at straws to complain about stuff. We're going to say 3-Dub, sorry.
I'm sure they would think of something.
Oh yeah, I've seen all the channels, pivot and be like, oh, real Marvel fans, this isn't made for real Marvel fans.
Yeah, I did. I actually had there was a tweet here that I want to talk about. Let's see if I can find it. And I thought it was quite interesting.
Watching it while listening to you.
Oh, are you? That's funny. It's going to take you a minute to get through it because it is a 2-episode premiere. But I saw this one from typical complainers, but this one's from Nerdrotic here. Let me share it.
I'm at the dead body.
Yeah. So Agatha All Along is not a show made for Marvel comic fans or men in general. It's a show made by and for wine moms who accessory kids are raised by nannies, and it reflects the Los Angeles they live in today. That's a weird take after the first 2 episodes. It doesn't mean, it's just a bunch of offensive stuff that doesn't mean anything. First of all, they complained that Agatha was changed from a nanny to a slightly younger woman in the series. And now he's complaining that the show was made for people who were raised by nannies, when their argument was that was one of the things they wanted Agatha to be. It's nothing like Los Angeles at all. Westview is nothing like Los Angeles. And as far as being made for wine moms and accessory kids, the show is made for whoever wants to watch it. That's the whole point. It's a sequel to WandaVision. So if you like WandaVision, you're probably going to like Agatha because it is a continuation of one of the characters from that show's story. Arguably the breakout character from WandaVision, because Wanda and Vision were the selling point for that series. For Agatha to come into that show and become as popular as she did, like creating a song that became a viral hit, for that to happen and for them to love it enough for her to get an actual show tells me that there is a niche market for it. This show doesn't have to appeal to everybody. It's for anybody that wants to watch it. By the way, not made for Marvel comic fans is such a weird statement. That's a weird statement. Like, what does that mean? I'm a Marvel comic fan. I've been reading Marvel comics probably as long or maybe longer than he has.
I would like to point out he's also lying, straight up lying, when he says it's not made for Marvel fans, because we are Marvel fans.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Who just says, like, we don't like it?
And like Agatha's also such a niche character. Like it is for Marvel fans, because I feel like unless you're deep into the MCU and seen WandaVision,
he's calling us not Marvel fans.
Yeah, like it's going to be the Marvel fans who know Agatha. I'd be like, yeah, I've read the book Agatha. Like I know her from the comics. Like it.
I've come to the conclusion, because remember with Skeleton Crew, these guys also imploded on that one and talked about like how nobody wanted it or whatever, and it feels weird. I've come to the conclusion that if you are a true comic book fan, in my opinion, and I hate even using that term because I think it's so cliche, but if you're somebody that really loves comics, you would want to know more about the world that those comic books exist in, right? You want to know more about characters that aren't necessarily Iron Man and Thor and all of Batman and Superman. You want to know about the other characters in that world. This is what I was complaining about when I talked about like the Joker movie and all these Batman projects. I like to add layers and flesh out the world that I'm watching. So Skeleton Crew is a slice of the Star Wars world that we've never seen before. We've never seen what it looks like to not be part of the Resistance, to not be part of the Empire, to not be part of this whole magical universe. These are people that exist in that world that aren't necessarily on the front lines. And it's the same thing with the Agatha show. This is an adjacent story in the Marvel universe where you can take this beaten path, you can go down this road and explore the Marvel universe, or you can ignore it and just focus on the big films. Mm-hmm. You have an option to do that. So I would say a show like this is actually more for comic book fans than any of the other stuff. Because to be honest, a lot of the big MCU stuff, people that watch that, and I know this for a fact, anecdotally talking to them, people that don't read the comics know about the MCU, but they're not going to know about Agatha. They're not going to know about Wiccan. They're not going to know about Blackheart. These are things that only comic book fans are going to know about. So please explain to me how it's not made for comic book fans. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I agree. And also what I think what I've really, or I guess a big conversation that's been had or needs to be had, I guess, is like, I think Agatha has created a genre within itself within the MCU, which I think is neat, right? We're at a point where the MCU is so large, it's so big, there's so many projects, people aren't going to be watching all of them. They can't. There's too much for casual audiences. And now we are, and this is something the Arrowverse did as well, where it's like, well, I like The Flash, or I only like Arrow. I only like, well, this is a genre of the fan base that likes the Agatha, WandaVision, Vision Quest, Doctor Strange era of the MCU. And there is an entire section of the MCU fan base that this is the part of the MCU that they're into, that they're watching. And you're seeing that online. Like, it has an entire, Scarlet Witch fan base is crazy. Mm. It's an entire, I feel like a good 25% of the MCU
There's actually a Wiccan fan base on Twitter that is also engaging with the show. Too.
Yeah. And I think this is exactly what they need, is they need different genres for different people. Like, this is, like again, not everyone's going to like the show. Like, this is a show I can tell straight from the fact, not everyone's going to like that. That's completely fine. And that's how it should be. Not every person should have to be into every project.
And Harrison makes a good point here. Agatha pre-WandaVision was literally a deep cut character that only comic fans would have known.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. I would say that saying that a show about like deep cut characters is not for comic book fans is a wild flex. It's a wild flex. Honestly, they're the ones that are going to want to tune in and know more about it. So I actually enjoy that. I enjoy all that lore. But this is the kind of discourse we're seeing online. These kinds of people ruin the fandom for so many folks. And it's so frustrating.
Unless you don't listen to them.
Well, that's, I mean, the thing is, I don't listen to them per se. Like, they don't come into my mind and change my opinion, but I definitely call them out 100%.
Yeah.
So, right. So after we get this breakout and we end the first episode, we get into the second episode. And in the second episode is the assembly of the coven. Like they have to pull together her team of witches, and we meet. Let me see. I'm trying to get all these characters right here. So we have Lilia Calderu, who is Patty Lapone. Love her, by the way. She's one of my favorites. We had is it Ali An as Alice Wu Gulliver. We have Sashir I think it's Zameda as Jennifer Kale. And I thought they were all fantastic. We got to meet them in their own little stories and their own little universe. And this is where we get to see the boyfriend for Teen, or whoever that character is going to be, calling. And he's like, oh no, he's just a worrier or whatever. And he ignores the call. So I don't know what that's going to even amount to. Honestly, I don't know if we're ever going to see that character for the rest of the series.
Yeah.
I think they showed a picture of him, so I would think that they would introduce him in the show at some point. But we get a lot of these interesting characters, and they come together as these, I don't know, unwilling participants, I guess, in this situation with Agatha, where they have to open the door to the Witch's Road, and we have the Salem 7 after Agatha, and that was scary. That whole thing with like them coming to her house and like coming after her. I was like, this is the horror stuff they were talking about. This was the scary stuff that they were speaking about. And I also want to give a shout out to seeing the WandaVision house destroyed, where they had like Wanda, like what is it, Evil Witch or something on Wanda. They had it spray painted on Wanda's steps there or whatever. So this whole thing is like leaving Westview behind and going into the Witch's Road. And they had a song, actually. So I hated the song that we got with the Acolyte. No, not the song. Oh. I hated the song that we got with the Acolyte. And a lot of people tried to compare this to the Acolyte song. I'm like, no. That song I didn't like at all. This one was great. But you have a lot of people from Broadway who can actually sing. That, like, that's something they've done in their life. And they're able to come together and create this beautiful song in the series. And I thought it was wonderful. And when they open the door to go into the Witch's Road, they go down that spiraling staircase. I thought that whole set was beautiful to me. I think it looked really cool. And it gave me like Wizard of Oz vibes when they got down to the road and you could see off into the distance and how things are going to be for them and stuff like that. I thought this was a 1-2 punch solid first 2 episodes for a series. And I was so sad when we got to the credits, because I was like, that's the credits already? It felt like it went by so quickly, because the episodes are listed. I think they're like 42 to 43 minutes, but there's like 7 minutes of credits. So it's like a 35-minute episode. And also, if you're watching the credits, they go in reverse. The title card is at the end of the credits. I don't know if you watched it all the way to the end. So if you watch it all the way to the end, you finally get the title credits for Agatha all along, which I thought was really cool. Anyway, I loved it. I thought it was a really solid introduction to the world of Agatha, and I'm excited for the rest of the season. So if I had to give it a numeric score for me, I would say I'm going to score both of the episodes together, because I think they were both equal in terms of like the quality. I would give them like an 8.5, between an 8.5 and a 9 for me, because I think it was a really great kickoff for the show. And if you have not seen it, if you're somebody that's still watching and you didn't care about spoilers, definitely go check it out. I think it's super, super, like, again, solid, great entry into this new MCU trip for us in the TV division. Yeah. So what would you say?
I think I think these first 2 episodes work as a really solid pilot, or kind of introduction to it all. Because again, like, I feel like you can watch these first 2. Again, I would definitely recommend watching both, because the first episode is very setting the stage, and then episode 2 is like, okay, here's the actual plot of the show, and here are all the characters you're going to need to know for the next 6 episodes. So I'd say, like, check out the first 2. Like, if you're someone who's kind of on the fence, I'm not sure, watch those first 2, and you're like, hey, I'm not into this, that's fine. But I do think it does a good job at kind of selling you on what the rest of the show would be. And I already kind of talked about it.
It's an hour of your time. Like, you set aside an hour of your time, and you get the first 2 episodes. So
yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's I honestly, I'm just excited for some more just Marvel fun for the next 6 weeks. Like, I think it's gonna be a fun weekly discussion to be had.
Leading into Halloween.
Halloween's gonna be. I'm a huge fan when they've done like holiday stuff for almost every year on Disney Plus. Like, this was for Halloween. Yeah. Last year they did What If. The year before they did Guardians. The year before they did Hawkeye. Like, I'm liking it. Werewolf,
Right,
they did the 1 year. Yeah.
Before we move into the Penguin Show, we have another super chat from Silhouette Animator, who's been very gracious tonight. Thank you so much for all the super chats. I know you said you were trying to budget, and I do appreciate all your support, honestly. $5 super chat here says, not all female-led shows are as in your face with their politics as Batwoman, Mr. Nerdrotic. I don't think he's seen Agatha. Batwoman was, especially, I want to say the second season, really dived more into like the social politics and cultural stuff. We got away from that before the show got unfairly canceled, by the way. I'm still mad about that. And I know if Lance was here, he'd be screaming. But yeah, but I don't think Agatha's going to, because I don't think the show needs any, like, it's not diving into social constructs and things like that. It is a show about a witch's coven. I'm assuming they're going to spend a lot of time with just the women in the show. So I don't think there's going to be any reason to dive heavy into that. Whereas with Batwoman, it was literally her living up to the story of Batman and the previous Batwoman. So there was a reason for that. Agatha doesn't have to do that. She's a powerful witch anyway. I mean, so
I did feel like it dipped its toes into the politics in season 1. I would say that much. Like,
it was more social though, because she talked about like making the suit perfect for a woman and stuff like that.
Well, I meant like banning her from a restaurant was in season 1. That felt a little political. Like when she, the reason why she started her own business is because.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But like, that's also the thing, is like, it doesn't really matter if it does or not. People are going to put that on it if it does. Like, it's, again, like, people are like, yeah, they're pushing the politics down our throats and blah blah. It's like, no, they're not. You just didn't watch the show. It has a female lead and you hate it already. Like,
well, I mean, the thing about it is, I don't expect them to give a good review to something they've been talking shit about for like 3 months. It's just not, I don't expect that.
I'm one that like hates being put into politics when I'm trying to escape politics. That's the reason why I watch fantasy. But like, I like when they subtly tell us without actually telling us, because it goes over my head, and I like being not like knowing.
I've talked about that before, is that I think the best way to touch on social and political stuff is allegories, like making it work in the world that the characters exist in, which is what took me a little bit out of like, what was it we were watching? Boys, the last season of The Boys. I kept complaining because they kept referencing real world stuff in a fantasy world, and it didn't make any sense to me. And I'm like, they could easily do the same story without referencing real world politics.
What's funny is it went over my head. And they did perfectly to where I didn't notice.
Well, luckily, it went over your head. For me, it was like one of the things I complained about. But Fetman here is giving you a shout out, Darren. Shame Marvel aren't doing one-shot presentations anymore, because I would love a Deadpool Christmas special. I think that would be very fun. Werewolf by Night was amazing. I want more of that too.
I mean, there's at least one in the works, thankfully. So maybe.
I think the gore and the bloodshed of the episode like overshadowed the politics.
Yeah.
The Boys freaked me out a little bit this year because they did it before the real world event. Like, stuff was happening, and then a week later, it happened in the real world. I was like, holy shit, this is crazy.
All right, so our last topic tonight, we're going to wrap this up after this, but I do want to talk about the premiere episode for The Penguin. Now, I want to be very clear here. Going into this, as I told you guys, I'm exhausted with Batman stuff, so this wasn't one of the ones I was looking forward to. But I liked Colin Farrell as this character, and I wanted to give it a shot. And I thought, this is going to feel like The Sopranos in the world of Gotham. And to be honest, it really feels like elevated Sopranos. I think it was a very elevated, like, gangster mobster story. I have my notes over here. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, Darren, because I know you watched it as well.
Yeah.
But I believe this takes place like literally like a week after the attack on Gotham, or roughly a week after.
Yeah, it's almost
Gotham.
Immediately. It's like 5 days or something crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Poor neighborhoods get destroyed, rich neighborhoods prosper, which I think is quite interesting.
Shout out to how they did the recap, though. I thought that was such like an impressive way where they are just showing the different news stories and like in a compilation. So it's not just like previously on the Batman. It's like, but it was done in such a stylized way. You're like, oh yeah,
so
that happened.
Batman was technically in the show.
I mean, like yes,
he gets named up. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. You know, also we had Alberto Falcone. Is it Falcone or Falcone? I've heard it pronounced both ways in the universe.
I think it's Falcone.
Yeah. See, you both just said two different things. Replaced his father Carmine as head of the crime family, which I thought was interesting. But the funny thing about that is,
didn't last.
He dies in the first 5 minutes of the episode. So like literally right at the beginning, and I'm like, what? Like, and it becomes this whole thing because that is the story of the episode, is how Oz reacts to all of that after it happens. And so we're seeing this go down, and I'm like, wait a minute, did they just they just killed off a major character like right at the beginning? Mm-hmm. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then we have what is that?
I was like, he cost too much.
Yeah, maybe.
But like also like shout out to the writers, because like I felt like I knew the character within just like 2 minutes of screen time. Like I thought they were
making fun of Oz. He was making fun of him, which I was like, yeah.
Like he felt like a full character in just like the 2 or 3 minutes we saw of him, and I actually say he had one of the best scenes in the episode with what we actually saw. Like I thought it was great.
Like Chris Evans was making fun of Cassandra, and whoop, there goes the skin.
Well, no, it's very similar to that. It was very, very similar to that. Like he was joking on Oswald Cobb, which I'm like, so this is my question. Why did you change his name when you could have literally made that the joke that Alberto was making towards him about his name and what he looks like and all of that? Like, you could have literally made that the story. And Cobblepot is a real name. I actually looked it up. It is a real name. It's a real last name.
Yeah. I thought about that same thing. Because, like, easily one of the biggest parts of the episode, I think it's great, is that, like, he is insecure. He is so insecure about everything. Again, just as simple as someone laughing at him, like threw him off the handle and he killed somebody. And yeah, you're 100% right. Like I would have loved a thing where it's like he changed his name to Oz because he didn't want people laughing at him.
And he changed Cobblepot to Cobb because of the same reason. Like
that would make so much sense. It would add to his character, I feel like.
My goodness. Yeah, it was a mess for me. That like I liked it, but then I'm like, what a missed opportunity. What a missed opportunity. Then we meet Victor Algiller. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's the same kid that was in The Runaways. Like the actor from The Runaways. I was like, oh my God, I hadn't seen him in ages. And he's trying to steal rims. He gets caught. And I actually thought that Penguin was going to kill him, but then he starts to like basically connect with him emotionally, and I think that he sees a similarity in this kid and the life that he had in the time that he knew him, and so he starts to take him under his wing as like I don't feel like he's going to sort of make him one of his little like henchmen or whatever. A lot of people said it reminds him of the character Lark from the comic books, which was also a driver / bodyguard for Penguin, and would be a gender and race swap, I think, of the character, because I think in the comics Lark is a woman. I could be wrong. I'm not too familiar with that character. But what were you gonna say, Darren? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like the people who saw it early kept saying that like the Penguin had his own version of like Robin, and I was like, what does that mean? Like what do you mean by that? And pretty instantly I'm like, oh yeah, they're right. Like this is kind of like their dynamic, and I think that's because I was curious going into it. I was like, okay, how are you going to make the Penguin likable enough for him to run his own show? Like he's this crime empire, he kills people. Like how are you going to do it? And I think they do it because of this kid. Like you can relate via the kid, and he's
if you think about it, if he didn't have this kid, who would he be talking with and having conversation with? You had to add someone in there. We also have Sophia Falcone. Gets released from Arkham, talks about the Hangman murders, and is investigates Alberto's death, suspecting Penguin for doing it. And I thought that was interesting. By the way, I don't think who is the actress that plays that character? I'm curious.
I recognize her from How I Met Your Mother and a couple of other famous shows and stuff like that.
What's funny is when
Kristen Milioti. So
really
when you talk about the Hangman, I'm thinking of like I think it was Pig that was committing them.
Well, there was a storyline from the comics where I think it was The Long Halloween, maybe.
Yeah, I think that it happened in Arkham Knight, where they're like basically had like a bunch of dead bodies hanging on.
I don't know for sure, but I believe it had something to do with like Harvey Dent, right? Wasn't it about Two-Face, and they revealed her to be the killer? Maybe was that it? I don't remember that story totally. I was trying to see if I had it in my notes, but I do not. either way, she's amazing. Like in this episode, like I can already tell she's going to knock it out of the park. So I'm totally excited for that. And it says, my notes here say that betraying them, he allied with Sal inside Blackgate Prison to steal a new drug shipment, and he pins the blame for Alberto's death on the Mulroney family. So this is already setting up like a crime family battle in Gotham, which to me already feels like it's leading into what they've talked about with the Batman 2, the second film, and what we're going to be seeing. Yeah. All the stuff we have to do. Did you catch it at the end with the 9 to 5 song playing or whatever in the episode, Dolly Parton? I thought that was really interesting to play. But I truly feel like this show, as much as I was skeptical about it, I think there's potential for this show to be really good. And I know a lot of people talked about it, like the early reviews were saying it was really solid. I can totally see that now based on the first episode. I need it to sustain this momentum, though. I need it to be this way throughout the entire season.
I was so impressed. I think this is like one of the better pilots for a show I've seen in a while, because I feel like to me, I love when a pilot could stand on its own as a project and that be okay. Like it introduces everything from start to finish. It sets up the plot of the show so perfectly, where I'm like, if this was just like a short film, I'd be like, yeah, this is like a 5-star movie that you just put out. And I don't know. I generally love almost everything about the show. Like I think Colin Farrell is amazing. Like he has such a presence as Oz. Like he has such a presence within the show, and I love Gotham. Like we kind of got this a little bit in the Batman, and I guess also Caped Crusader, because it's kind of mind of Matt Reeves. But like Gotham feels like a character. Like it feels like this living, breathing ecosystem. And I think because Gotham is easily, I'd argue it's probably the most popular city in fiction. Like I don't know if there's any other city in fiction that goes up against Gotham, and you feel Metropolis. That lifeblood in it.
Yeah, I would say Metropolis is probably the next closest one.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I loved it.
So we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna answer the super chat, and then we're gonna pull up a picture of the club foot because somebody keeps asking about it. So I want to show it on screen so everybody can see it. But this is from Staggervore. It's $4.99 super chat, and it's talking about, I guess, an Easter egg here, or maybe something more. Did anyone notice the penguin the license Oswald was holding specifically shows Gotham City as a city in New Jersey?
I did see that. I saw some people on social media talking about that.
What do we think about that? Does it bother you?
Not too bad. I don't know. I don't mind, I guess.
Because I think, didn't they say Gotham was always supposed to be somewhere in sort of the Midwest, like in Detroit or Chicago or something like that?
Yeah.
Isn't that where it was originally designed?
Supposed to be across from Metropolis.
Is it?
Yeah, as one of the interpretations of Batman v Superman.
Yeah. Well, then we also had Central City and National City across from each other.
And that was in Arrowverse.
Yeah, I didn't notice this, but that's quite interesting. I thought that Gotham was always supposed to be like a allegory for like Detroit or Chicago. Maybe I'm remembering something else. I'm not sure. Let's see. I was trying to see if I.
They should really make a city named after Gotham, because we have Metropolis, Illinois, but
I think there are cities named Gotham. Actually,
no one would move there. They would see the sign and be like, "No, I don't think
Gotham."
Yeah, thank you for that super chat, Staggervore. I don't know if Staggervore is still here or not, but thank you so much. I do appreciate it. We're gonna look at the club foot, so prepare yourself to be grossed out. But I'm gonna bring it up on screen. Here we go. My cat's like, what are you looking at? So there's the club foot there. It's so gross.
Yeah. But I also just love the way he moves around in the show. Like, it feels so... I would argue everything in the show feels so real. Like, it feels like you're in the room with these characters, and they're real people and real conversations, and it's great.
So, yeah, that was pretty
why dialogue? Why dialogue?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was warning you. So, Actually, Defunct, there's a lot of superheroes over the years of supervillains that have had some really like gnarly body like I don't know if they're all deformities, but augmentations, changes, things like that that have ended up being pretty cool. But I think you're supposed to have a visceral reaction to that one. So look, Darn's in. Poor New Jersey gets disrespected yet again. I mean, yeah.
Doesn't no one like New Jersey apparently on TV shows?
My cat is watching my mouse. Look.
Aw.
That bug is bugging him too.
Anyway, I'm sorry, I got distracted. I'll give my score for Penguin. I actually thought it was like a 9 out of 10 for me. It's almost perfect, but I like to reserve my perfect scores for later in the season unless something is just like completely knocks it out of the park. And I think this was a solid one, and it was a really, really good opening for the season. But I have a feeling we're going to have better episodes. I just have a feeling we're going to have much better episodes.
I would say it's already better compared to Gotham Knights. Let's just say that.
That's almost not fair, though. Like,
no one kills Batman. You can't kill Batman on the pilot. Just saying.
Look, Defunct says, I have gnarly deformities and I'm an adult orphan. Shirley, well, there you go. Like, totally superhero status. All you need is a costume. 100%. Look, Silhouetted. Gotham Knights just didn't stand a chance. I'll agree with you. After all the drama going into that, I was like, it's a one and done series, unfortunately.
I'm basically the Superman's, origin story. I was in foster care. And
oh, really?
We got adopted, so yeah.
I didn't know that.
Superman origin story, 100%.
Yep.
Well, here's my question.
Is move to Smallville.
I moved to a Ville, which is funny.
Out of all the Gotham themed TV shows we've got, which one do you which pilot do you think is best out of Gotham, Batwoman, Titans, Birds of Prey, Penguin?
Gotham for me. I haven't seen Penguin, so Gotham for me.
I actually don't think Batwoman had the strongest premiere. I'm thinking back.
Yeah.
I thought that the show got progressively better, but I don't think the premiere was very strong.
Oh, Pennyworth too. I forgot about Pennyworth.
Pennyworth, no, I wouldn't put that for me at the top, but I didn't really care for that too much anyway. I think the Gotham TV show was really strong. And this one's different. It's so weird because every show portrayed Gotham very differently. And I'm nostalgic for the Gotham TV show because I did go on to love that show.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna go with Gotham. I think Gotham for me was a really strong premiere. But I like all of them, but I just think that's probably the best one for me. I think the worst one was Gotham Knights, but that's just my personal opinion.
They did have a bad pilot.
Yeah.
Anyway,
an
entire series.
We're gonna change the branding on the wall there, so it's back to normal branding. There we go. So, we did have another super chat, and then we are going to probably wrap things up. We're coming up on the almost 3 hour mark. Birds of Prey, hold my beer. So, Staggervord, did we find a CW affiliate for your area? Let me see. Let me double check.
I totally forgot about that show. Oh,
Birds of Prey. I haven't seen Birds of Prey. I
have seen it. It's just I can't get over the campiness of it. The silliness of the yeah. And it looked like they took footage from Batman '89 too. Like they didn't have the rights to Batman, but had to have Batman.
Yes, yeah, it looks like we have it back now. So,
what?
Yeah, a CW back in my area. We didn't have it for a while, so it's back again. Thank you for the super chat, Staggervore. Yeah, I'm excited. Superman and Lois right around the corner. That's going to be an exciting. What is it like? We're going to get 9 weeks out of it. 9 weeks now
of Superman and Lois. Yeah, because they're doing the first two at once.
Yeah. $2 super chat from Lone Wolf. What did you think of the Gotham version of Penguin? I loved it. My cat screwed up my camera.
It is kind of funny because that show basically did become a Penguin show. Like at a certain point, it really was. It was
the Penguin and the Riddler show because the Riddler was also really popular on that show as well. Yeah, but yes, I think Penguin on Gotham was really strong, and actually I haven't cared for that character much. I think that version was the first one that made me really care about the Penguin.
Yeah.
And Steigervorst says, "Congratulations, you can watch Superman and Lois." I know, I'm excited. So what's going to happen with that? Before we go, I'll let you guys know. Since that is a 2-episode premiere, my plan is the after party to start 30 minutes after the second episode. So mine will be 8 to 10 my time. So around 10:30 is when it'll start. And then moving forward, the after parties on Mondays will be at 10:30. So it'll be an hour earlier than when I normally start now. And I know some people will not have a chance to watch it by then. But to be honest, everybody, including Paigey and everyone that reviews it, will have their reviews up before midnight. So there's no point in me waiting to do it any later than that. So that's definitely when I'll drop my live streams.
They can just watch it on playback if you haven't seen it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. And then on Thursdays will be the Nocturnal Nerdcast. So this will become a 1-week stream while Superman and Lois is going on. So, and then after that, it'll go back to a 2-night thing. Because we get so much news that we can cover now because it isn't locked in behind like what the podcast was before. Like I can talk about anything I want, which is kind of cool. Anyway, I want to thank Lance and Paigey for being here. I know they're not here right now, but I do appreciate them coming through. Darren, thank you for sticking around. I know it's really late, but I do appreciate you being here to talk about all the shows and all of the news. And make sure you check out Darren's channel. They've shadow banned him on YouTube, so I never see when he goes live. So make sure you turn on notifications. And 3Dub, even though he slept for most of the stream, thank you for coming in. And appreciate you being here. And everybody else, have a great night. Thank you guys for, well, good. You got a full night's sleep. Thank you guys for coming in. All the super chat support, all the team members. I do appreciate you. If you're watching on either Eric's Reloaded or Eric Debunks, make sure you hit that subscribe if you have not already and become a part of the channels. Leave a like, leave a comment down below, and I will see everybody on, Thursday? See everybody on Monday. So have a good night.